was once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice watching fire, a mind drawn is gone. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the judge to bring the fed. A mortal's no illusions, no hollow in compare. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Misled, thinking truth from the wreckage, raising dawn from the dead. Every word is a weapon, shot men declare, exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord marches with the suffering command. A beast of judgment, the Lord will give his dead. On his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, trigger keeps the battle is right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I begin the chaos of found to every strong against the darkness, rising defend. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Bow your head to the beast that patrols the dawn. Sentinel of reason with the ball crushing block. If his bull runs empty, the shadows will consume. The world cracks open. So either command, don't deploy a core. If you know what's good, feed Morty the overlord.
Welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How is everybody doing tonight? Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We also got our boy Lone Wolf in a Cub. I'm switching over to the landscapers. That's right, guys. If you are on the vertical stream, remember that the pinned link will always bring you to the regular landscape stream. And if the link's not working, you know how to use YouTube. Just click the link and the thing. What is going on? Oh, man, I had a day. We got space for the win. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm saying if you're on the vertical stream and you would rather see it in landscape, the pinned link is the link to the landscape stream. So come on over. I mean, or if you're enjoying it there, have a good time. This snow, man. This snow. I was not having fun. I woke up. They sent out a thing for my my development where you had to like get up at a certain time and make sure that the snow plows could come in and do all that stuff. I was up early and no one was out there. I'm like, what's going on? Apparently there was a state of emergency so I'm out there shoveling and trying to get my car out from under the snow, and it's still coming down just about as fast as I can. It was not good. And then I had to go on an adventure, we'll say, and I had to drive about 40 minutes in that snow. It was not fun. Also, did some deranged leftist try to kill Trump again? I did not hear about that. If you guys got information on that, let me know. But tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different in the sense that, of course, you know, the Epstein files is all that anybody's talking about. That's all the rage. We might dip into Mexico a little bit as well. But shout out to Michael Knowles, because he's been doing this bar fight series, and I think that was kind of cool. This is a different one, but I think also lots of fun, and he brings in Benny Johnson for that one. So let's dive right in. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know. Yeah, it's such a thing. It's such a thing. I'm really like about to move tomorrow. Ugh. All right, let me know if you cannot hear the video.
List. No, you're not, are you? I have to break this to your audience. I'm in the files. I'm in it.
My name technically appears in the files because technically I trafficked women for Jeffrey Epstein to Les Rex.
Today, we're diving into one of the most discussed topics on the internet. We're talking emails, the testimony, and the unbelievably sus timing when Jeffrey Epstein allegedly on live.
I am in the Epstein list.
Okay.
No, you're not, are you?
I have to break this.
I don't know what that was.
Of taking a vacation day. Michael Knowles. And in the other corner, a man who never attended a Diddy whiteout party because he wouldn't be able to wear a black t-shirt. Benny Johnson.
Wait, hold on. What?
This is Face Off Epstein File.
He is always in a black t-shirt. Actually, so am I.
I will read a question. Each host will have 30 seconds to scribble down their answer, and the loser will have to give a glowing 30-second read for the winner. Well, gentlemen, I would ask what...
So essentially what we're doing is Epstein trivia.
Epstein.
Come on, what's going on with this, dude? YouTube is not being my friend right now. YouTube is not being my friend right now. Let's try this, because it's going to the next video on the playlist, but I'm not.
I am in the Epstein list.
Come on, struggle, streaming in the building. Is it just this? Let's see if something pops up like news live.
I am in the Epstein list.
Oh.
No, you're not, are you?
I have to break this to your audience. I'm in the...
Starting back at the beginning. Did they delete this video while it was open? What is going on? It really is just kicking me back to the video. The beginning of the video. Let's see if there's other stuff. Oh, come on. Yeah, you guys are saying that there's some...
I am in the Epstein list.
No, you're not, are you?
Jesus.
I have to break this to your audience. I'm in the file.
Okay, so hold on. Stick with me here. Trump assassination attempt. Let's try this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm not sure if YouTube is working with me right now.
Breaking news of the deadly shooting at President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida.
So apparently this video is doing well. I don't know if the other one will, but we are gonna figure it out. Shout out to Royal Steel Sack. Welcome. We were trying to watch Michael Knowles and Benny Johnson, but the video is not working. So we're gonna check out this this report on the Trump assassination, and we're gonna try to get back into it. We also got Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see you.
Authorities say the suspected gunman was carrying a shotgun and a gas can when he drove into the secure perimeter Sunday morning. And it comes as law enforcement prepping security ahead of this week's State of the Union address. Hannah Joyce, the breaking now desk. Hannah, what details can you give us about that suspected gunman?
Robin, authorities identified the man as 21-year-old Austin Tucker from North Carolina. Police shot him just after 1 yesterday morning. The president and first lady were at the White House when it all went down. And this is actually the third assassination attempt on the president.
Mm-hmm. He was ordered to drop those two pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the two Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
Martin's family reported him missing Saturday. His cousin described him as quiet and inexperienced with guns and said he didn't know how Martin felt about the president. Now, authorities are trying to figure out.
This happened yesterday. I'm surprised that we haven't heard, a whole bunch of celebrations and how martyred this is.
What Martin was planning and why.
If you live in the area of the shooting, please check your exterior cameras for last night or this morning. If you see anything, please contact us.
In a post on X, FBI Director Kash Patel says the FBI will dedicate all necessary resources to the investigation.
Meaning they will find absolutely nothing. Trust me, bro. All right, so that's not good. Hopefully we will get some new information on that. Let's go straight from this page. Maybe it's something with that tab.
I think it's amazing what's happening right now. Hillary Clinton's finally getting
3 emails. I haven't, no more Davey
here.
Technically, is that
Newsweek, right? It's a thing document.
All right. I think it's this one piece. Okay.
Glowing 30-second read for the winner.
All right. There we go. Take two. So it is essentially Epstein trivia. They're going to be, this guy is going to be asking both of them questions, and we'll see who can get it right. And I would like you guys to play along so we can see who really knows the most about Epstein. Are we ready? Let's do it.
Well, gentlemen, I would ask what you did to prepare for this, and clearly y'all know more of it than I do.
I have to break this to your audience. I'm in the files. I'm in it.
No, you're not.
I'm in
Are
the
you?
files. An FBI briefing document notes my interview with Kash Patel in 2023 talking about the Epstein files. And so it says, The Benny Show, far-right podcaster. This is the FBI's internal memo to their top leadership.
Benny.
So my name does appear technically in the files as a Newsweek write-up.
All right, if we're making confessions and stuff like that, I guess I should also point out my name technically appears in the files because technically I trafficked women for Jeffrey Epstein to Les Wexner on behalf of Mossad.
Okay.
But it's
good one, bro.
A technicality.
That would be on brand, actually, here. So great.
This is not a joking matter, Mr. Davies. Can you cut it out with the jokes?
How many emails did you read?
I try to know more about things than you do, Mr.
That's a good question. How many did you guys? I personally have not even looked into any specific emails. Have you guys actually gone through the Epstein file emails themselves? If so, how many were you searching for someone specific? What have you guys done? Because so far, it's been so, it's such a huge drop that it's like, I'm not going to be able to go through 3 million pages and figure out what's what. And so there's people who, that's their job. Let's, get some of those people to kind of parse out where we need to be looking. And then, we have an idea of where we want to go.
Davies, I've read 3 emails. I haven't dug in a lot.
I know that I came here with my suspicions that Michael was a trafficker for Mossad, and now they've been confirmed. So that's awesome.
So the Epstein's victims are in the files also. You know what that means, right? No? What does that mean? Is this going over my head? Somebody else, do you get this joke?
You can just go home from now.
This was actually the point. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that may come up in a question later, but it's not the first one. The first question is, what color dress was Bill Clinton wearing in the oil painting seized from Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion?
What? Really? They couldn't fucking have it on one thing? What color dress was
Bill Clinton wearing in the oil painting seized from Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion?
I know this one for sure. How do we do this in such a way where I give you guys time to answer? Because I know somebody knows that. But I don't want to pause it too long. Someone give me an answer quick.
30 seconds.
Oh yeah, obviously if you're I think that was, the underlying joke that that Benny was making, is that obviously people are going to be all over that. Some of it's going to be just innocuous documents, some of it's going to be articles, some of it's going to be stuff like what Benny said, FBI reports and stuff like that. Just because your name is in the files does not mean you are guilty. Shout out to Equality and Deference because vagina over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. Said liked and shared. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know that stuff really does help. It's quick and it's easy and it's free and it helps out so much. Does not even matter If you think anybody's going to click on the link, just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. No answers on what color was the dress worn by Bill Clinton in the oil painting in Epstein's mansion. Nobody? I thought this was like common knowledge.
30 seconds. Wait, don't show them yet, Benny.
I showed it. Showed it. Too late. Blue.
Well, it is blue. Nice warm-up question.
Do you know why it's
You guys don't remember this painting? Come on! Come on!
blue, Mr. Davies?
That's easy, dude.
I do.
That's easy.
Why is it?
This is burned into my memory. Equality got it. There you go. Equality got it. Yeah, that is burned into my retinas. I don't think I could ever forget that. I'm pretty sure this is the same, the Lewinsky dress. I'm pretty sure that was the inspiration.
The blue.
Why don't you give us the lore, Michael?
Why? No, you tell me. Do you know why it's blue?
Monica Lewinsky's
Because
dress.
of Lewinsky. I didn't know
right?
if you. I didn't know. You're
Okay,
young.
yeah.
You're young. You were barely a glint in your father's eye when the Lewinsky scandal happened.
Yeah, but okay. So I'm probably around the same age as that dude. I'm 36. This dude's probably right around there, maybe a little bit older, a little bit younger. But the only thing we knew about politics at that time, I guess in what was that, 98? The only thing we knew about politics was Monica Lewinsky.
Same age.
Well, that's true.
Wait, go. Because I figure both you guys would know this. And this is
Well, there was plenty of glint on that dress.
Okay.
From the dry cleaner. It was covered. It splattered actually in glint.
Yeah, that's how he got impeached. That's how they proved it. Yeah.
That's right. So.
and censor. But I do want to give whoever knows the name of the painting the actual point. I figured you both get blue. What is the name of the painting?
The name of the painting. I feel like if I heard the name, I would be for sure that I'd be like, oh yeah. I want to say it would be something like Clinton. I don't know. Anybody? What is the painting called? Where is everybody? I don't know.
Is this like a famous paint? I mean, I knew he had it commissioned, but
I think Benny scribbled something down. He's got it. The painting was titled something.
It was. I'm gonna say Monica's Revenge. I'm not really sure. Okay, we got an answer from Equality. Anybody else? Well, actually, I'll read that out. Yeah, the Equality said the Oval Orifice. Ugh. Yucky.
All right, Michael, what do you got?
Glint on my dress.
okay, that's right. I said Moaning Lisa. Is it Moaning Lisa?
Not bad.
I think for creativity, I think we should give you that. But no, the name of the painting is Parsing Bill.
Parsing Bill. Okay, I didn't. It's not ringing the bell like I thought it would, but a good one, and I'll give it dilly for the Oval Orifice. Dilly on that. All right, moving on.
Okay.
Yep, there it is. Parsing Bill.
All right.
So we'll give you both y'all a point for blue.
Thank you.
That is it. Paraphrasing Joe Rogan here. That is the "I gotcha, bitch." Like
Gotcha, bitch.
they knew they were cooked.
Yeah.
But like I think it's amazing what's happening right now. Because Hillary Clinton's finally getting asked questions about this, and she's like, "It was just for philanthropy." And there's photos of him with trafficked women who are naked in a hot tub. So this is like the Clinton version of philanthropy. It is. I love it. I mean, I think it's incredible. It's by the way.
Well, that's the Clintons were clearly the end of the era where dogs hurt himself over here. That was the end of the era where you want to come up here? Morty, what are you doing? I'm trying to do a show here. The Clintons were the end of the era where you could just be, a complete liar and nobody would ever know. We've all seen you guys had to have seen videos like this. Hold on, I gotta pull this up. We gotta do a side quest. There was it? Okay, so Hillary Clinton, Southern, and I mean other people. We've seen it in other people as well. But.
We're talking about accents. Everyone has one, even if you don't think you do, and some of us have more than one, like Hillary Clinton.
Well, yeah. So O'Connell's saying, "Gotcha, bitch." That's the Dave Chappelle thing, but I think Rogan was saying he was using the Chappelle joke to say that painting is the "I got you, bitch." Right.
It was really silly. I'm glad nobody was around. And
her accents have fluctuated a lot.
The road to being somebody in this society starts with education.
Yes, that's Hillary in 1983. It's hard to tell whether she's pandering to her audience or just mimicking the people around her. That's not unusual, and lots of other politicians have done the same thing. But with Hillary, we have 3 decades of multi-regional public life to sift through. Let's go back to that 1983 clip.
Starts with education. Education.
Even though
education.
She's from Illinois, she did marry a guy from Arkansas. So it's not unreasonable that that would affect her speech. That inland southern accent, though, it starts to fade just 4 years later.
It is difficult to draw the line.
Oh my God. Oh my God. 80s fashion. Oh my God. This was I mean, I don't know. I was about to say she was a presidential candidate. Obviously wasn't running for president at this point. But, oh man, that late 80s fashion. This is 87.
Personal privacy, family privacy. But I think as a society, we've had more than enough examples.
There's a
much more polished in a very short period of time. Lone Wolf said it all starts with education. Yep.
Twang, but it's on its way out. The weird thing is that accent returns in 1992 when Bill Clinton.
College said when the Hildebeest was in Hollywood, her name was Rebecca De Morn.
What?
Is that a real thing? She was. Say more on that, because I think that needs to be the next side quest.
Is running for president.
You know, they've just been minding their own business and they got hit by a meteor. You know, I'm not sitting here as some little woman standing by my man like Tammy Wynette every time.
So even just 5 years later, I don't know.
She called distraught saying her life was going to be ruined.
But through the night.
But maybe that was always her accent. And she felt like she had to, tamp it down and be very, what's the word? I don't know, just widely appreciated. And then she's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go back to my natural. Maybe.
90s, Hillary discards her drawl.
I think that is exactly where it goes.
Think so?
Right there in the middle on the top.
Good.
Looks great, Martha.
Side
Oh, okay. So what do you mean then, equality?
note, there are several Martha Stewart White House specials from the 90s, and all of them are amazing. Anyway, by the middle of the decade, the Illinois native starts to sound a touch Midwestern.
Questions come up, and we'll just keep doing our best to answer them, and hopefully it'll end at some point. I think that's only natural.
By the time she ran for Senate in 2000, Hillary Clinton, the Chicagoan by way of Arkansas and Washington, D.C., had to appeal to New Yorkers.
When I started this campaign, I'm not sure I knew quite what to expect. Lifting up our children with better education. Education. I hope you'll give me that chance.
And the rest is history. And yeah, I mean, why did we even bring this up? I forget. But saying that like the Clintons were really the last bastion of politics, where you could just do that and nobody would ever know about it. It might be on local news or something, but since Obama, everything's been on the internet. And so if you were talking one way down here and one way over here, everybody's gonna be like, wait, you don't sound the same.
Hot tub.
Oh yeah, and you can be like, well, philanthropy. That's why I was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein.
So this is like the Clinton version of philanthropy. It is. I love it. I mean, I think it's incredible. It's by the way,
it's a little more like philanthropy is what I think it is. A little more about Bill is what I think.
The fact that she has not been asked, she's been running for president. She ran for president for like a decade and nobody asked her any questions about Jeffrey Epstein.
That's a great point. She's been in politics way before that, but what was her first run? Was 2008 was her first run, right? So that was right when Epstein got arrested and all that stuff. And not a single question.
How's that possible exactly? She's just now.
It's almost like it's a cover-up.
Being asked on the record about Jeffrey Epstein. These are the first times Hillary Clinton has been in the public eye for 50 years. Never asked a question about Jeffrey Epstein. Not once.
Well, she wiped all those emails off her server, so it's only now. She didn't wipe them off his server is the problem.
This is
we're still seeing the pictures. We still seeing the pictures. Oh, guys, really quick, if you check the stream goal, there are not any push-ups today. We got all that snow. I was shoveling all day. I was, I'm not doing any push-ups tonight, but it is a peanut butter night. We can get Morty his very own peanut butter. Any donation will count. And where's my banner here? 15 donations in total, or a total of $75 will hit that goal. And of course, the biggest donor makes you the sponsor of the stream. Thank you.
So it's only now, as she didn't wipe them off his server is the problem.
This is I think a remarkable timeline. It's the sacred timeline. Very excited about it.
Yeah. If only we had the emails, we could do a whole nother show just on the Clinton files.
Yeah.
But we'll get to number 2.
They acid washed it, right? Or wait, Snopes said that wasn't true.
Object was reported.
All right, next question. Everybody pay the fuck attention.
Show just on the Clinton files.
Yeah.
But we'll get to number.
Oh, did you? Whoa, come on. What's going on here? Is this playing? Oh, the struggle is real tonight. What is going on? There we go. Okay, what object was hanging from the ceiling?
Hanging from the ceiling inside Epstein's mansion that raised eyebrows.
What was hanging from the ceiling in the mansion that raised eyebrows? I don't think this doesn't ring any bells. I don't know. I definitely saw when Luke Rudkowski went to it was Tyler Oliveira that went to Little St. James. He went to Bilderberg. I don't remember any hanging.
A few things. This is the most
thing.
Iconic.
What?
Is that a real answer? Is that
Betty? Don't reveal your answer.
Oh, good. Hold on. All right, hold on. I'm gonna.
Oh, is this not a speed thing?
Did he have a bride hanging from his chandelier?
That was speed. Either way, it's speed. It's a speed thing.
This is not.
It was unbelievable.
This is not landing like I thought it would.
It was speed. It was a human-sized bride doll hanging from a chandelier.
I'm thinking about pulling an audible.
A doll. Okay, that's a little different. I just copied Benny, but I at least will get the same number of points. Really?
Fuck it. This is not working. This is not fun because you guys can't answer. So, hey, here's what are we gonna do? There was I've noticed that for some reason, we all have these the big content creators that we are aware of and we see around, but maybe don't necessarily spend a lot of time actually checking out. You see clips here and there, but everybody loves them, and you just never really got around to checking out what they're really about. And for me, that was Asmon Gold. For whatever reason, I just never sat down and watched him, but I'd seen him all the time and really appreciated him. So there's a video here where somebody tries to expose Asmon Gold. I think I forget the guy's name, but you might recognize him. And I think this will be a good introduction to the channel for me to talk about Asmon Gold. We just have never covered Asmon Gold before. And yeah, that thing is not really doing its thing. So we're going to switch it up. But first, we got to shout out equality and deference because vagina with a $5 Ramble Rand. Thank you. So very, very much. Oh, wait, I got your Rumble thing. Has it been confirmed that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad guy? I mean, not 1,000% confirmed, but in any way that really matters. Who was it? Was it Netanyahu or was it Bongino saying that he worked with Middle Eastern intelligence and the what other Middle Eastern intelligence is there gonna be? Shout out to White Buffalo. Welcome to the party. Yes, I really enjoy his stuff, but I just always, kind of skip by. It was always like the longer clips that it's like, I want to watch that, but I never really. And then, one of these days I just started like, all right, let's watch it. And yeah, he's awesome. We got Nate the Dan. Welcome Said so many streamers fall to Asmon Gold. What do you mean fall? Fall to Asmon Gold? Or you mean like he like try to go at him and get destroyed like we're about to watch? The Birdman, that's who it is. Some faceless channel. I don't know what context I've seen this in, but I have seen this channel before, and the video is exposing the grift, debunking Asmon Gold on IQ in less than 10 minutes. So I'm going to change the title and everything for this. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Exposing the grift, debunking Asmon Gold on IQ in less than 10 minutes. Well, thank God. I didn't want to watch it for that long, so it should be easy. Here we go.
In one of the most ironic social media posts of all time, Asmon Gold makes the claim in response to Mehdi Hassan that the average IQ in Somalia.
Wait, is audible like I'm like in football where you switch it up and able to be hurt? Is that the same word? Or are those different words?
Makes the claim in response to Mehdi Hassan that the average IQ in Somalia is 68. And that
I was rounding up, actually. It's like somewhere around 67.67. But yeah.
This claim isn't racist, but a fact. What makes this post ironic is the very last bit where Zach claims Hassan's tweet is an attempt to push a narrative.
It absolutely is trying to push a narrative. It's trying to push the false narrative that every culture and every group of people has an identical IQ. This is not true. Everybody knows this isn't true. You take 3 seconds and you look at the world and you know it isn't true.
Well, I mean, I don't think people who even are like, you know, same or afraid, of race realism or anything like that. I don't even think that they think that. I think, you know, in general, they would probably say something around the ideas that, you know, there's going to be a variance in any group. But come on, do they really not think that there's any kind of difference? Talk shit and then end up destroyed and losing their followers. Yep. I mean, hey, I've been seeing him cook, and he's pretty based. Pretty based. And Dylan said the Birdman is half a good old douche. Same spell. Thank you, sir. Lone Wolf said, if you don't think Hassan is pushing a narrative, I have a bridge to sell you. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing, you can't even make fun of that sentence. I don't think Hassan is pushing a narrative. You can't even make fun of that sentence because it is itself such a joke. Equality said, standard procedure of nobodies snipe and ankle bite famous people to acquire vicarious fame. I mean, hey, if it works, it works. But heavy is the head that wears the crown. Didn't forget about your Batman.
This isn't true. You take 3 seconds and you look at the world and you know it isn't true.
Well, not only is this Asmon Gold's attempt to push a narrative, but the claim itself that African people have low IQs is also an attempt to push a narrative.
Yeah,
no, it's a statement of fact.
That number typically traces back to the world.
There's also a lot of other components to why people have low IQ, and it's not necessarily race. I'm sure that race is a component, but I would say it's probably like a 4th or 5th level component. So the big reason is you've got the big 3, right? 2 of them are like kind of harder to say.
So I will say I did watch through this already, but you know, usually I like to be as fresh as I can with you guys. But you know, pulling the audible. Shout out to Brandon Murphy. Welcome. So I'm getting anxious, feeling every day that something crazy would happen since the release of the Epstein files. But that's me. I mean, you ain't wrong to feel that way. This is definitely the type of shit that would spark off some type of shit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But you know, you're not off base. We got Zero Cool. Welcome. Said Hassan is a liberal cuckboy. Yeah. I'm a professional dog trainer, and so I don't even use, you know, I use TikTok just to talk about like movies and TV and stuff, because you guys here don't care about that stuff. And but I was like, fuck it, I'll do a video on Shocktober 7th when he shocked this dog. That video got over 1 million views. The highest number I got in anything anywhere was like 120K, and that was one stream. 1 million views. 1 million views because people just hate that motherfucker, and for good reason.
You've got the big three, right? Two of them are like kind of harder to say, and the last one is like a little bit hard. It's a little bit more obvious. Inbreeding is number one. Do you think that inbreeding is going to lower people's IQ or not? Do you think that a society full of people that are inbreeding are going to have low IQs? Is it going to fuck up people's brains? Absolutely it is. You also have the amount of nutrition. You have food. So if you take people that are inbred, that have no food, you are going to have people that have extremely low IQs. This is just obvious. And the problem is that some people want to pretend like this isn't the case, but it's very evident that it is because your brain isn't getting the nutrients that it needs. Now, I think that, again, if you really even assign all of that and you remove all of that, very clearly there probably are some degree of racial differences, but the main factors are inbreeding and nutrition. That's a
yeah, and so the lack of understanding from the other side is that, oh, it's because you're Somali, it's because you're African, it's because you're this, it's because you're that. It's like, no. It's Africans or Somalians or whatever experience these things, engage in these practices. And then you get inbred, dumb, low IQ motherfuckers. Low IQ motherfuckers.
Racial differences, but the main factors are inbreeding and nutrition. That's a massive fucking factor. And also, if you look at the way that people...
Hit me up. The Indian Jesus official on TikTok.
People from Somalia have integrated into British culture, how they've integrated into American culture.
I mean, you could feel bad. But I definitely feel bad that this exists, but don't let that get in the way of, like, hold on, this is a legitimate issue. This is a legitimate issue. Like, yeah, I kind of feel bad for the people who are just walking around retarded, but on the other hand, it's probably got to be a lot easier to just think that, you know everything. I would assume so. I would love to have the type of, the type of confidence that Hassan has. No, didn't earn it, didn't do anything, just got it. Kidnapped by mom. Said, ever see the Amish and Mennonite inbred children? I have not. But hey, if they're doing it, then white, black, African, American, not African American, but American or African, it's going to affect the children.
Have integrated into British culture, how they've integrated into American culture, how they've come from, let's say, Japan, you will see one common variable every single time. It's that these people are total drains on the society. They are massively problematic. They're scamming. They steal things. They do not integrate. And at the end of the day, they are a negative for the societies that they come to. So why would you bring in all of these people that have such a high rate of there being a negative outcome? Why would you ever do that?
And that's just a basic argument. That's just a basic argument of we don't want to be like that. It's not even a matter of, oh, I don't like that. You are what you surround yourself with. You're not with the muzzies. Not with the muzzies. Quality said, inbreeding, that would explain rim jobs problem. What? Remember Pikachu? Muslim Pikachu.
Stupid. It has, like, if you just take a step back, are you keeping your country safe? Are you keeping your people safe when you allow immigration from a country that has a massive inbreeding? Do you want to know what the percentage of women who are victims of female genital mutilation are in Somalia? 99%. I'm not kidding. Yikes. If you look up the World Health Organization, and they have a study on this.
All right, we switched it up. We switched up the title. If you're on Twitch, I apologize. I don't know how to do that from here, but we switched up the title and the thumbnail, so we shouldn't get any clickbait issues.
99% of women in Somalia are victims of female genital mutilation. I don't want to import that culture into my country. I don't want to take the risk that I'm importing that culture into my country. I don't want them here. At all.
Better. There we go.
Work of Richard Lynn.
It's disgusting.
This guy, a literal self-described scientific racist.
What does that have to do with whether it's right or not?
It's in quotes. I mean, is it a joke? Because that's a pretty funny joke.
You're calling somebody a word. What does that have to do with this?
This man was part of a secret eugenics conference where, and I'm not joking, there were people favorably arguing in favor of pedophilia. So
that's obviously bad. But you know what's even worse is probably the fact that pedophilia is normalized over in Somalia. If you're going to act like that's bad, why don't you look at what they're doing? Look at whenever they're getting married.
There's any way you slice it. Any way you slice it. It doesn't make sense to bring these kind of people here.
Yeah, this is the guy Asmon Gold is quoting.
Yeah, he said a bad thing, so we don't listen to that.
Lynn published a paper in 1982 called IQ in Africa in the pseudoscientific journal The Mankind Quarterly, a white supremacist outlet that is currently...
See, he's trying to poison the well by saying that things are pseudoscientific, saying they're white supremacist, etc. You're not actually attacking the argument. You're not actually attacking anything that's being said. You're assigning negative variables and negative attributes to it, and then hoping that people, because of those negative variables and attributes that you're assigning to it, will assume that it's wrong because they're not supposed to agree with things that have these attributes.
Yeah, it's something like in the high 90s, high 90% or more of little girls. Let's not obfuscate the fact that that happens when they're young. That little girls are having their genitals mutilated, cutting their clit off, so they can't enjoy the sex, and also they're allowed to be raped with no consequences. I mean, this is not the culture that you want to import here. Buffalo said they should not be brought here at all. I can't believe the UK and New York is making a law to practice their culture. Yep. I mean, I think I actually think it's a good thing that Mamdani won, because I think without him, what we would actually be looking at the first real socialist person in control that has sway like that, I think it would have been a lot stronger. And so by showing him what's going to happen with him, I think that's going to bat socialism away for a little while. Now, that depends on how strong the propaganda is, but that's our job, to fight the bullshit.
That's what he's doing. It's dishonest.
Yep.
Maintained by the hilariously named Human Diversity Foundation.
Yes. Because there's diversity between humans. That's correct.
Far-right white nationalist company.
Again, none of this has anything to do with whether this is a good or an accurate thing at all. This is more, again, and again, I want to take a step back. It's environmental, it's educational. There is also the factor of inbreeding, which is massive. All of these things have nothing to do with race.
And so for me personally, as somebody who is newer to Asmon's content, then I was definitely against this type of immigration, illegal immigration in general, closing the border, deportations, all that kind of stuff. But he goes harder than I thought he did. I kind of thought he was like normie based, but he might be more based than me. Shout out to Cowboy Christ. Welcome to the party.
And they're still all factors for IQ. So what's happening is that you just have a person who's throwing a bunch of buzzwords at it to hopefully get people to disagree with what's being said.
Oh, you mean like the left? That's their playbook.
You're trying to shut down conversation. And you have to keep in mind, let's go back and talk about that eugenics conference that was banned. The reason why these things are banned is because research into this topic isn't allowed. You have to keep in mind that the father that discovered DNA, was effectively had his entire career destroyed because he said that there's a chance that there could be a racial basis for where IQ is coming from. And so the reason why there isn't a lot of research or information in this is because there is a wrong answer. And it's basically politicized science that has been effectively co-opted by activists that will not let people have a conversation about this topic at all. That's the reason what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
In this journal, Flynn argued that the IQ of sub-Saharan Africa...
The guy's a critical drinker, generational hater. What is this? Pull this up. See this?
Drinker is a grifter. He's trying to tell the audience what he thinks they want to hear. Hilariously, it works on you, proving that the audience of grifters are very, very low IQ. Others can argue differently.
This is just him essentially spamming the word grifter and just be like, oh, anybody that doesn't agree with me is a grifter. Never forget, what? Commie Danny? Said he was going to, Commie Danny, gotcha. Said he was going to raise property taxes in what he described as richer and whiter neighborhoods. I love that he got elected. It exposed how racist against white Dems are. I just saw a clip from I don't know if it's made its way off of TikTok, but there's this mini podcast, I guess you would say, of a dude who's just sitting on the subway. He's got his Metro card and he's got his microphone clipped to the Metro card. He's like, all right, what's your take? And Mom Donnie went on the show, and it's usually just meant to be like little blurbs. And he's like, we should raise taxes. And dude was like, hard disagree. He's like, whoa, only if you make $1 million a year or more. And that was not true. Yes, Equality is bashing the critical drinker. Shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome to the party. Okay. Critical drinker derangement syndrome. All right. See, we're getting the lore. This is what we've been missing out on, guys. This is what we've been missing out on. Well, let's dive back in.
So grifters are very, very low IQ.
And so I was right that guy doesn't agree with me. Therefore, he is a grifter.
Others can argue differently. There is no winner here. Besides, you're a low IQ alt-right incel that has a personal vendetta against anything you perceive to be left-wing. You are not a reliable source. The guy is a low IQ moron that is seeking attention. I mean, his video.
Bro, you can't make these types of attacks when you won't even show your fucking face. At least use your name.
Those are hate videos, not criticism videos.
Of course.
Yeah, that explains exactly why you're a loser who spends his free time making fun of marginalized groups on the internet while being a dipshit low IQ manlet that is invisible to every woman walking past you down the street.
Lots of talk about IQ here, huh? Is he gonna read that?
Again, it's all about the approval of women. It has.
I know this is unpopular, but after seeing how the vast majority of demons celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk were women, I realized that repealing the 19th cannot be a suggestion, but must be a necessity to save civilization. Women untethered from good masculine authority became the worst hags and psychopaths with their emotions and neuroticism. Again, I am reading this, not espousing it. Weaponized for destructive purposes because it is not in accordance with their God-given design to be birthers of life and their husband's helpmate. Oh, damn. Going hard.
Nothing to do with whether somebody's right or not. It's about, are you getting the consensus approval?
What you got fired for, you low IQ piece of shit. One thing I always
notice how his arguments are low IQ. Yeah, because IQ matters. It obviously matters, and anybody that thinks that it doesn't matter is probably low IQ.
From grifters is how they are so opportunistic that they
that's just the new version of grifter, just low IQ.
Will contradict themselves if it means they can serve up a shallow dunk to their low IQ viewership.
Right.
He knows the point.
So yeah, the context of what the chatter just showed to Asmon Gold was the fact that what's his name? The Birdman, this guy is constantly talking about IQ. And then when it comes to the actual reality of IQ, he wants to be like, oh my goodness, Asmon Gold is talking about IQ. Like, okay, is he wrong? No. Is he what? Is he misrepresenting statistics? No. Okay, then what's the issue? Because you sure love to talk about IQ.
That's being made, but it's misrepresenting it to fit the narrative he's trying to push.
Right.
I mean, the alternative is to suggest he's low IQ. And I would never do that. God, I can't take any more of this low IQ drivel. Drinker is
anyway, so this is the person who's making it.
So I think that was all him talking about the same person too. I think that was all him talking about a critical drinker. I don't even think that was like everybody.
Video of me talking about IQs. Huh. It sure seems like he cares a lot about IQ, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And also keep in mind, none of these were arguments. None of this was an argument at all.
Was around 70. Notice I said...
Wait, what?
Hey, shout out to Box in the building. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. How are ya? We are checking out this Asmon Gold stream. I've actually never covered Asmon on the channel before. And I figured this was a good one. We had something else going, but it wasn't really landing, so we went here. Guys, don't forget about the puppy. Every single donation gets him a treat.
Sub-Saharan Africa was around. In this journal, Flynn argued that the IQ of Sub-Saharan Africa was around 70.
Okay.
Notice I said Sub-Saharan Africa. Yes, Lynn's argument was that a continent that consists of about 50 countries all had a similar very low IQ.
So would you have an issue with making a generalization about humans? Because there's like, what? Humans. He said humans have 2 arms. How dare he? There are some people with 1. Is that the argument?
Okay. All of the European countries have similar IQs. All of the Asian countries have similar IQs. Just tracks.
Okay, let's
yeah.
Obvious problem with this argument is that
this is an average.
Is huge, and there are over 1 billion people with over 1,000 different ethnic groups. Nigeria alone has more than 200 ethnic groups, and that's a single country.
And okay, but the point, why is that a point against what Asmon's talking about? Well, I said some months ago that if you look in the mirror and say Asmon Gold 3 times in a row in the dark, you can often, not always, summon a response from him. Well, do I have to, does a camera count, or does it have to be an actual mirror? That is the question. We got Costco Law School, indeed, the bell curve. Don't you dare talk about that. How dare you possess pattern recognition skills? Horrible, horrible people you are.
Nigeria alone has more than 200 ethnic groups, and that's a single country.
All right, let's try it. So, okay, wait. You look in the mirror or the camera and say Asmon Gold 3 times in a row in the dark. So we'll just turn off the we'll turn off the extra brights. Okay. So 3 times in a row, and I'll just close my eyes. All right, Asmon Gold, Asmon Gold, Asmon Gold. You want to be on my show? Let's go.
Nigeria alone has more than 200 ethnic groups, and that's a single country. Do you think Lynn tested every ethnic group in Nigeria, let alone...
Do you think that one of them is going to have a higher IQ than people in China?
Nope.
What are we doing?
That's my line. What are we doing? What are we doing here, guys?
What are we doing? Like, really,
I guess it makes a little more sense why every single day someone comes in here and be like, oh, you sound like Asmon Gold. I mean, you know, instead of just trying it, and Beetlejuice showed up. Hey, hey. Dilly. There you go. There you go.
What are we doing? Like, really, it is so retarded that it's just like you think about this for 3 seconds and you immediately realize that it's retarded.
I like that, Dylan, with the UK joke.
Oh my God.
The rest of the continent? Yeah, me neither. Anyway,
let's be honest for just a second.
Other psychologists went back and actually checked Lynn's work.
Let's look at
Richards, Dolan, and van der Maas published a systematic review in the journal Intelligence, looking at IQ data from sub-Saharan African samples.
Okay, and so what we would be expecting from this is a critique of the way that the numbers were drafted, or the language that was from the conclusion, something like that. Something like that. Hey, shout out to Jake from Project VO Pod in the building. Welcome. You don't sound like Asmon Gold. Asmon Gold sounds like you. That's what I'm saying. Welcome. Very good to see you. Box, has anyone seen Matt Walsh's slavery history video? I have not. $5 for a side quest. All right. Let's see what the journal, the review, how they say that IQ is the same across the board for everybody.
What they found was that because African countries are developing countries, they hadn't experienced the variables that cause the Flynn effect, such as improvements to nutrition, healthcare, and even toys. In other words, the environment is the most relevant variable in determining one's IQ score.
So why would you want to bring people from the country that have a bad environment into your country?
Exactly. It's not a matter of if this is nice or if this is mean. It's a matter of the practical aspect of what is going to happen if you bring people like this in here.
Why would you want to do that? So like, I don't understand. Because like, so if your brain isn't developed properly because like for whatever reason,
all right, I'll check that out.
You know, environmentally or whatever else, who creates it? Well, they do. They're killing each other and cutting each other up. They've been doing this for thousands of years. I mean, obviously that's the reason why. And you can't understand their IQ is so good. They have to keep living in mud huts rather than building houses. Exactly. So exactly what you said. Yeah, of course. So the thing is that it's not relevant to me whether the IQ is arrived at through racial, genetic, or environmental reasons.
Exactly. And that's the way that the woke people, that's the way that they want to go at it every single time. Like, oh, you're low IQ, you're low IQ. But then let's actually talk about low IQ. Let's talk about high IQ. And you're nowhere to be found. Oh, you're racist. Shut up. Just shut up.
Who is arrived at through racial, genetic, or environmental reasons. The only thing that matters is whether the IQ is or isn't. If you bring a bunch of people who are functionally retarded into your country, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Yeah, not that complicated. Equality, it says, are why and why are darky countries so far behind the whitey countries? I don't love that, but again, you ain't wrong.
So why would you ever invite that type of chaos into your country? It doesn't matter where they're coming from. It doesn't matter why it's happening. Why would you ever do that? It's stupid. There's a reason, like, aren't like 80% of these people on welfare in America? It's
remember, we couldn't get fucking Nick Shirley to stop saying 89% of Somalis in Minnesota are on welfare. That's a lot.
Insane. And then also keep in mind that it's not just systematic, right? Or it's not just environmental, because even like, for example, Somali American families inside of America that have been here for 10 years, they have been in America for 10 years. They still have a much dramatically higher rate of being on welfare than, normal, like I would say, like just average, everyday Americans.
Well, of course. Of course. Why would you stop taking free money? Especially if you don't care that you are stealing that money from the people that you're stealing it from. Like, I would suspect that you guys, if you're just getting free money, you'd be like, oh, this is awesome. And then you realize that all of us, it was just being stolen out of our pockets. You'd be like, all right, we'll work something out. But if it's someone who's like actively trying to kill you and money is just, magically floating out of their pockets into yours, why would you stop that?
The general population. That's it.
Genetics.
Asmon Gold is good, but he's no Indian Jesus. Hey, dilly. I'll take it. Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you. That gets our... Well, so if you want to know what's going to happen, if you import retards, look at the UK, France, Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Europe. Indeed.
It's from the general population. That's it.
Genetics. But
Yeah,
let's
maybe
rewind
we'll have to cover that
for a second.
It has
Because
nothing to do whether it's genetics or not.
mention something.
I like Asmon, but politically, he's like 15 years behind me at this point. I'm gonna need more on that. What do you mean he's 15 years behind? We're talking about someone who's directly addressing something that he's saying now that is about the immigration issues that we're dealing with now. Like the Nick Shirley stuff, the Somali fraud, obviously it's been around for a lot longer, but it's only been popular in like 1 month ago.
Thing that you all may not be familiar with.
What is it?
The Flynn effect.
Right.
The Flynn effect is the observed rise in IQ scores over time. Basically, if you gave an average...
I think this is true. So in general, you are going to have a ceiling and a floor of IQ. Like, for example, if somebody's really, really naturally smart, if they are not well educated and they're not, basically, they don't have good... what do you call it? They don't have good like environment, or like they don't have good nutrition, excuse me. And for whatever reason, they don't have these options. Well, what ends up happening is that, yeah, they're not going to be as smart as they could be, but their floor is higher than somebody else's. So it's the same as anything else. There's a very...
So hold on, I'm going to pull this up. The Flynn effect. Because if the Flynn effect, because if he's saying that for anybody, there's this, like, how do okay, so Raven. Okay, so what I thought it was essentially saying is that this is the type of variability that you're going to get in an individual person, but that's not really what he's talking about. So I'm going to go back to that. But I think the point, the point that fucking Birdman was trying to bring up is that. Well, let me actually let me read this for sure first before I make guesses. So the fluid effect is the substantial and long sustained increase in both fluid and crystallized intelligence test scores that were measured in many parts of the world over the 20th century. Named after Flynn, when IQ tests are initially standardized using a sample of test takers, by convention, the average of the test results is set to 100, and the standard deviation is set to 15 or 16 IQ points. When IQ tests are revised, they're again standardized using a new sample of test takers, usually born more recently than the first. The average is set to 100. Okay, so yeah, it's not really talking about that, but the idea that a group of people. So I'm trying to go into the woke racist mind. I feel like this dude is trying to say that Asmon is saying that automatically by being Somali or by being sub-Saharan African that you're stupid. That's definitely not what Asmon is saying. I think what we're saying is that you can have a genetic component, and the environment will have an effect on that. Shout out to Full Metal Chad. Welcome to the party. Yep, that's what's his name? This guy, not Balrog. What's his name? What do you guys know?
Therefore is higher than somebody else's. So it's the same as anything else. There's a variation of it, but that variation doesn't go from 100 to 0. There is a natural limitation that each person has. And if you really think that you can train two random people and one of them can just randomly be Einstein just because you educate them in the right way, you're just delusional. You're obviously delusional. Every single other...
Yeah, so the whole blank slate thing where everybody, it's solely dependent on the books you read and the environment that you have, and talking about nutrition and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's not how that works.
Element of humanity is measured in this way. So, for example, there are people who are shorter because they have lower.
Blanca, thank you. Equality. Blanca from Street Fighter. Hold on, my thing was empty. Let me give a shem and give you the dilly. Blanca. He did the dope. All right, thank you.
Measured in this way. So, for example, there are people who are shorter because they have lower, amounts of food that they're eating. But it's not like people that have an adequate amount of food are always 7 feet tall either. There is a genetic variation, but inside of that genetic variation, there is a ceiling and a floor for each individual person.
Nature versus nurture. There's going to be some of this and some of that.
Person from 1901, a modern IQ test, they would score dramatically lower than the people of today. Not because they were genetically predisposed to being less intelligent, but because IQ tests measure certain types of abstract.
There are people that are just stupid. And there's a problem is that a lot of people inside of Western society are terrified of the idea that people are not equal. But
remember the George Carlin bit? Think about how stupid the average person is. Now think about the fact that half of the people are dumber than that. Truth.
They're not. And we all know this. Everybody knows this. If you've gone to a public school, you would know this. There are a lot of people that are just born with less talent points than others. They're stupid. They're dumb. And there's nothing that you're going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to teach them something. Maybe you can make it a little bit better, but you're never going to teach a lot of these people to be rocket scientists. It's just never going to happen. It's a delusion, but people don't want to talk about that because they're worried that it could be considered or seen as eugenics.
And the other side of it is, okay, fine, maybe you have genetics that are giving you this gap, and depending on your nurturing, you could be down here or up here. But if your gap is down here, then even with the best nurturing, you're still only there. Is he on that, Thomas? What?
Reasoning, pattern recognition, and problem solving that modern societies train us in constantly.
We're going to take a quick voyage over the cognitive history of the 20th century. Because during that century,
people want to believe that anything's possible with the right luck and the right the right opportunity. Yeah, it's not. There are some people that are just losers, and some people that aren't.
Our minds have altered dramatically. As you all know, the cars that people drove in 1900 have altered because the roads are better.
Yes.
And because of technology.
Well, it's because people with high IQs designed them.
And our minds have altered too. We've gone from people who confronted a concrete world and analyzed that world primarily in terms of how much it would benefit them, to people who confront a very complex world. And it's a world where we've had to develop new mental habits, new habits of mind. Now, this dramatic change was drawn to my attention through massive IQ gains over time. And these have been truly massive. That is, we don't just get a few more questions right on IQ tests. We get far more questions right on IQ tests than each succeeding generation back to the time that they were invented.
Well, yeah, I mean, we stand on the shoulders of giants.
People are getting smarter, okay?
Yeah, I mean, think about the back in the day. Pick any time period. Just all of the stuff that you would learn in school had to be actively learned, discovered, invented, whatever. Now you just, especially with the invention of Google and now ChatGPT, like the availability of information is so much easier. Obviously, that doesn't directly line up with people being smarter, but if you want to, you can know shit. On what? What would your TED Talk be? What would your TED Talk be?
Back to the time that they were invented.
People are getting smarter, okay? This is an argument against what I said. What does this have to do with what I said?
Indeed, if you score the people a century ago against modern norms, they would have an average IQ of 70.
Yeah, if you're just jumping in, essentially, the Birdman, some guy who is a faceless channel, jumped on Asmon Gold's position that we should not be importing third worlders into the country because they are not good for the country.
If you,
namely, I'm talking about IQ right now.
Score us against their norms, we would have an average IQ of 130. Now, this has raised all sorts of questions. Were our immediate ancestors on the verge of mental retardation? Because 70 is normally the score for mental retardation. Or are we on the verge of all being gifted? Because 130 is the cutting line for giftedness.
And I guess that's an important point in understanding how IQ works and how it's measured. Like, 70 years ago and 100 in 15 years. Those are going to be entirely different things.
James Flynn, the political scientist who documented this pattern, showed that IQ scores increased roughly 3 points per decade in many countries throughout the 20th century.
I think there's a lot of reasons why that happens. And one of the reasons is a eugenic reason. Whenever you have dumb people that are really stupid, the probability is that they're not going to reproduce. So the reason why is that those dumb people usually make bad decisions. Those bad decisions get them put in jail, and you can't have a kid whenever you're in jail. So that's what happens, is that a lot of dumb people wrong. Well, of course, it's obvious that's true.
Well, and, when we say mental retardation, that's the medical term. Now it's become like, oh, you're retarded. But, there was a time when that was just the word.
Is that a lot of the dumbest people are going to get removed from the gene pool, right? What about idiocracy? I love how people are using it. People are saying the argument against me is it's a movie. The argument against what I'm saying is a movie.
So obviously there is, because part of if you remember the beginning of Idiocracy, or if you're not familiar with Idiocracy, movie about the two people that get frozen in time and they go to the future, and everybo's retarded, and they have a chart that shows like, oh, Billy and Bobby, who were really smart and good parents, they wanted, to raise money to do this and then, and they only had one kid and they didn't. Whereas Jim Bob and Sally Mae had just a whole smattering of kids, and through time, everybody becomes dumber. Now, if that was to follow that line, then yes, theoretically, it would work that way. But in order for the world to be that dramatically different, no.
The argument against what I'm saying is a movie? What do you mean? No, it's obvious this is true. You're going to have the lowest, dumbest people that, like, I'm not talking about, this is what people don't understand. You're thinking I'm talking about people with like a 90 or an 80 IQ.
Yeah, like someone that you're like, oh, I didn't necessarily realize, but you're pretty fucking stupid. But like we were holding a conversation. We were exchanging ideas. That's not what he's talking about.
I'm not. I'm talking about people with a 60 or a 70 IQ. This is a totally different wavelength. And those people are probably not reproducing because a lot of those, especially the majority of those people with that low of intelligence are men. Those men are getting put in jail.
Now, I do disagree with the sentiment. He's trying to say, like, no, low IQ people don't reproduce. That is not the case. That is not the case. It certainly doesn't happen on the level of what we would expect to see idiocracy. But it is a pretty common thing that, you know, people who are of a lower IQ for reasons like their environment, there's nothing else to do. White, black, or otherwise, there's nothing else to do. You're not smart enough to do other stuff. And you don't have nobody else around you has the intelligence to change it. So you just fuck. A shout out to Box, co-sponsoring the stream here. Thank you. Of course, every donation gets a treat for the Overlord. Thank you, sir. Said low IQ does not equal bad, evil, unproductive, or worth less. This whole intelligence argument is icky. So I don't disagree that it means that you are bad. But, you know, as he is talking about, low IQ people are much more likely to do the types of things in society that we don't want them to do. And so if we are talking about people who are already here, if we are talking about Americans who are 60 IQ, then we would want to help those people in whatever way we can. But when we're specifically talking about illegally importing people like that, that don't only have the low IQ, but they have the horrible culture surrounding that. That's the argument. You're doing exactly what Birdman is doing and just focusing on, oh, well, you said IQ, so you must think that they're bad. He's been explicitly stating that's not the case. He's been explicitly stating why these are sufficient reasons to not want those people to be here. Now, R.I.P. Leoto. I used to have a bearded dragon, and he's not around anymore. But he did all right. He did all right. Thank you again, Box. Of course, that makes you the new co-sponsor of the stream. Let's dive right back in. We will take their kids. What? You want? Why are we? I thought taking kids away was bad.
But with that low of intelligence are men. Those men are getting put in jail. That's it.
So if IQ,
yeah, I do think that part is a little bit reductive. I think that part's a little bit reductive, but not untrue.
You were purely genetic and fixed.
It's not purely genetic. There's a lot of factors to it. Yeah, genetics are one factor, but it's not the only factor.
Yeah, and so again, Box, when you're saying, oh, low IQ doesn't equal bad, nobody's making that argument. Nobody's making that argument.
That kind of rapid change would be impossible. Yeah. Evolution does not move that fast. Your great-grandparents were not biologically inferior to you. They just lived in a world with less formal education.
Well, they were shorter, too. Another component to this is that it's height. Like, people in general over the years have become taller. And I think the reason why is the same thing. Like, this isn't even an argument against what I was saying. I think everybody knows this.
Less exposure.
Hold on. They got a new option where you can decide the speed of how the banner goes. Is that too fast? I feel like that's way too fast. I don't like that. Slow. It seems like it's going to be way too slow. And then what is this position thing? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Gotta check this shit out. Yeah, that's too fast, right? Is this going to go on the top? Oh, gang! So, will this put it on the bottom? For the vertical? See, that's a real frustrating thing because on the vertical streams, the banner you can see on the landscape stream, it's just a small little banner. But on the vertical, it takes up like that much of the screen. It's like, yo, what are we doing? I would much rather have that on the bottom. But anyway, we are here. We've got Box and Batman as our sponsors. Thank you. Box and I mean, they will be born here. They will assimilate like the Borg. Except they won't, though. If that were the case, like like it were with Asian countries and when the Irish came and the Italians and all of it, then that would be fine. But that is the issue. That is the issue. Make it faster, depending on how many people donate. We can make that work out. We can make that work out. Slow it down. Give me money, or I'm going to give you a headache with the banner. Thank you, sir. Not another generation, but they will be assimilated. So talk to me about what you like, just bullet points. How do you think that works out? Talk to me about how you're saying, okay, a legal immigrant from Somalia comes here, has a child. Then what? How does that child automatically get assimilated?
And against what I was saying, I think everybody knows this.
Less exposure to abstract symbols, less complex media, and different cognitive demands.
I don't think that the reason why is that they have less complex media or there's less cognitive demands. I don't think that's even the reason at all. I think that a lot of these people just don't even care about it in the first place. Also, the way that you measured something 100 years ago is totally different foundation than the way that you would do it now. Tall people die sooner at a certain amount of height, yes.
Which means IQ scores are sensitive to the environment and improve when the environment improves. Access to schooling, nutrition, healthcare, the complexities of daily life, all of these things are relevant, and none.
Okay, sorry, one more question. Because he's got his chat here. Do you want this taller or no?
Were accounted for in Lynn's work, because of course they weren't. Lynn was a
say that's tall, or I could put it back.
Described scientific racist. His goal was to show how inferior black people were.
But shouldn't that be all right? And there you go, Costco. Shouldn't that already be like, if he is, if you don't know the context and it's in quotes and it says scientific racist or whatever, did we look into what that means? Did we look into why that title has been given to him? And if it's self-described, then what does he mean by it? But no, it just goes, well, he said racist, so that just means bad.
Work on
this is, again, it's not even about race in the first place. This person's arguing with me about something that's different. Now, I do think that if you controlled for every variable, here's the reality, right? Is that if you controlled for every single variable and every variable was exactly the same, and you took 1 million people that lived in Somalia and you took 1 million people that lived in China and you judged their IQ, would they both have the same IQ? Everybody knows the answer to this. Everybody knows.
Of course.
And IQ heavily influenced the bell curve, a 1994 book by psychologist Richard J. Herrnstein and political scientist Charles Murray that argued intelligence is largely shaped by genetics with some environmental influence, and that IQ is a stronger predictor of life outcomes, income, job success, crime, out-of-wedlock births, than the socioeconomic status you were born into.
Yeah, they're saying then they import all their retarded cousins, aunts, uncles through chain migration. I'm not seeing the assimilation. I'm seeing a lot of Somali culture being held up over the American culture. It was New York and I guess it would be Minnesota if I had to take a guess, but I don't remember specifically, where they do the call to prayer every morning. Like, what? Bruh, what? I work into the night, bro. If that shit woke me up, I would be so mad. I'm mad right now because I had to wake up because of the snow.
The bell curve has been challenged by geneticists, psychologists, and statisticians for overstating the heritability of IQ across groups and for downplaying.
Hold on, wait a minute. I thought we had a journal entry about why Mr. Scientific Racist was wrong. But I have not heard anything about, I haven't heard any numbers. I haven't heard any criticism of how things were done, the language that was used outside of it being racist. So what exactly are you presenting? Just a bunch of stuff that says, oh, that's icky. That don't work anymore. Box said our grandkids will be hanging out with what we want the end product to be. If we do our job, if we do our jobs telling our kids about our values now, and it works out. I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, everything would be perfect. I agree with you, Box. The problem is that this is not what happens. The problem is that this happens, and they don't get the assimilation. They don't get surrounded. Excuse me. by American kids with the culture. It is something to be to be pushed against. We talk about I don't know if this falls under the same the same thing, but I just was listening to Tommy Robinson on Timcast, the guy from the UK, and he was talking about these grooming rape gangs that they have. And the problem is that, number one, so many people are coming into the culture. Like, it's so, just the sheer number, it's so many. And there is a mentality that, okay, we can talk about Islam in such a way, it's the religion of peace. It's okay for us to lie about that so that we can get in. And then, eventually, we can just take over. And then we won't need to lie. And be like, yes, we would like to chop your infant daughter's vagina off. That's not how it works, but yeah. No, well, I mean, but okay, so then you're willing to sacrifice an entire generation of Americans? And when I say one generation, I don't mean just the great grandkids. No, that's all of the generations. All the generations that are alive between now and the next generation and the great grandkids generation and the great grandkids generation, all the people before that, you're like, well, fuck you, fuck us, and fuck you guys, because we need Somalis here. Why? Shout out to Sam. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. How are we doing? And where's Angry Amputee Man? He was just about a whatever. I don't see it as an FU. That's because they're lying. That's the point. If you saw it as an FU, you'd be like, "Oh shit, we got to stop this." That's the point that I'm making. They're lying. They're lying to you.
And statisticians for overstating the heritability of IQ across groups and for downplaying environmental variables, treating socially constructed racial categories as biological truth. Richard Lynn was one of the primary scholars who compiled and popularized cross-national IQ datasets.
Here's what I think also, because this is just like more bullshit. I was
going to say, we got another study here, but are we going to get any numbers? Are we going to get any reasons as to why? I keep forgetting the guy's name. What was his name? Richard Lynn. Why he's wrong? Or just he's a meanie?
That what you should do is you should do more research into this and figure it out yourself. Go over there and test these people for IQ. Test people that came over here that don't have these same problems and then see what their IQs are. There's a reason why we don't do a lot of research on this. And the reason why people don't do research on this is because they're afraid of the answer. That's the reason why. And I want to go back to what I've said before is that.
Are you bringing this back to Trump specifically? Yeah, you better.
Look at the people that are advocating for more information versus look at the people that are advocating for less information. Bingo. I'm confident that I think that more research and more investigation into this will lead to the obvious outcome.
And notice yet again, I was just talking about how there's no numbers.
But for some people, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to look into it. And that's the real problem. And they don't want to do that because what they've built onto it is they built an entire ideology of the blank slate.
Cognitive dissonance. In order for more research to be done, this blank slate idea has to go poof, and that's their worldview.
The blank slate doesn't exist. The blank slate is to a degree true, but there are also a lot of things about it that are not true. And so what happens is that you have people that have this entire ideology that's built around this lie, and because of that, they try to never talk about or never discuss any difference besides this. Can you explain why Lynn said that Iran has an IQ of 80? It's been proven now it's 110. Well, I don't know. I didn't see about Iran. I have no idea what that reason is at all. I don't think that Iran has an IQ of 110, but I know that Iranians have very high IQs on average. Well, 110 would be.
Yeah, because there was a I don't know the exact timing, but there was a solid period where Western culture was allowed in Iran. It's almost like it's not a coincidence.
Higher than anybody else in the world by 5 points. So I find that to be unlikely. But overall, I think that's very true.
Alleging to show innate racial hierarchies.
Yes,
this is the textbook definition of racism. By the way,
now we're giving dictionary definitions of racism. Talk about being 15 years behind.
A fundamental determinant of human traits, and that those different...
It is a fundamental determinant of traits. It obviously is. One of the best traits is skin color. Big surprise. People of one race are going to have one skin color. This is one thing that people don't even consider with like racism and skin color are actually two different things. Like if you have people that are from a different race, like race isn't always defined by just like one specific thing.
Well, I mean, and we see that so clearly with, children who have one black parent and one white parent, that it's not as simple as just your skin color. That is one of the aspects to it. And I mean, I'm not a fucking sociologist. I don't know technically, down the list what exactly falls under ethnicity versus race versus heritage versus all those things. But none of that is surprising. Samson Persia was probably high IQ even in ancient times, though. I don't think it's entirely due to Western influence. Probably helps, though. Yeah, Persia, all right. And yeah, so I mean, maybe not directly Western culture, but certainly more Enlightenment thinking. Less focus on the dogma of a particular book. Dogma's bad, guys. Dogma's bad.
Color is just the most obvious indicator of that. Very clearly, there are racial differences between people. Anybody knows this.
Oh, yeah, guys, it's a peanut butter night. It's a peanut butter night. Let's get Morty his peanut butter.
This is the type of a priori knowledge that every single person in the entire world knows is true. But inside of Western culture, we're supposed to pretend like it's not true because people are all willingly participating in this deliberate lie.
So Bug says, look, most of the best people I know are well below average IQ people. Half of us statistically are. It's just silly. How is that relevant to what we're talking about? Because specifically, before you said this, and I agreed with you completely. So what is this addressing that we haven't gone over yet? Nobody is saying they are bad because they are low IQ. We are saying they are bad for our country. Because we already have a bunch of low IQ people here. So we don't want, we don't even really want high IQ people coming in now because we have enough high IQ people here. But especially if they're going to be, again, not only low IQ, but also wrapped around the culture, as I said before. Do the people that you know that you think are the best people, are they chopping off little girls' clitorises? Are they okay with Sharia law? Do they want women to be able to drive? Then we're not talking about the same thing, man. It's both things. It's both things. Not just low IQ, not just the culture. The fact that you have a dirty, disgusting culture and you're not fucking smart enough to do better. What about them? What about the people that you know being maybe below average IQ and them being good people? What does that have to do with this conversation? Maybe it was just the aliens. The aliens! I wish I had an alien-esque sound, but I don't. Mox said we got low IQ people here. Yes, that is an us problem. That is an us problem. Bringing more low IQ people who are not an us problem is not necessary. We both agree that we have an us problem. And that is low IQ people. Therefore, it makes sense not to make it worse. Is there? I'll put it to you this way, Box. There's nothing. There's no issue to your home by turning on the stove, right? It's just a stove. Cook stuff. Fire. Great. What if there was a gas leak? Does that change the context around whether or not you should do that thing? Does, doesn't it? So what is being presented here is saying we don't want to make the problem worse. Sam said the high IQ foreigners need to stay in their home countries and improve their own people's lot in life. Absolutely. I mean, dilly to that. Because as Box so accurately says we got low IQ people here. And that is absolutely an us problem. How in any way is this like climate change extremism? I don't even know really what you mean by that, but please, how is it like, what's the through line there? It's just like it, but different. Okay, how's it like it, but how is it different? So we shouldn't brain drain third world countries. That's a fantastic point, Sam. I completely agree.
Because people are all willingly participating in this deliberate lie. Very clearly, race is a factor. It's obviously a factor, same as gender is.
Do we need to bring up Taqi again? Taqiyya in Islam is the practice of concealing one's belief and foregoing ordinary religious duties when under threat of death or injury, delivered from the Arabic word to shield oneself. That's what they told you, Box. But obviously, shout out to the Dark King. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. We are here. But yeah. He's talking about the Jews, and so okay. But then if they're already in control of the whole fucking world, then why aren't they blowing us up? Because I can promise you, if the Muzzies had the kind of power that the Jews have, and you guys know I'm not even one of those people, but Israel clearly has a lot of global power. If the Muslims had that much power, we would be dead. We would be dead. So again, I don't really understand how that is related to what we're talking about. If you're just joining us, the Birdman, some faceless channel, decided that Asmon Gold is saying that we don't want low IQ people here is racist.
And everything else. But for some reason, because people are afraid of talking about this, nobody ever wants to look into it at all.
Produce an inherent superiority or hierarchy.
Yeah.
Anyway, those data sets compiled by Lynn were later cited approvingly by the bell curve authors Murray and Herrnstein.
Yeah.
In fact, Murray has explicitly acknowledged Lynn's work as part of the research base for their claims about group IQ differences. The problem is not simply that Lynn helped.
Because also keep in mind that if you were actually
yet another study that we're pulling up, and how many numbers were refuted? Oh, none. Got it.
Actually trying to debunk this, you would do further research into people that live in these areas, and then he would be showing that further research and the IQ differences being more smaller, right?
Exactly. Dilly dilly to me. Where is the argument? Where is the argument? So far, the Birdman and Box have put up the same level of argumentation. Now, Box is just chilling and watching a stream. But Birdman is making a whole video, shooting his shot at the Gold Man. And that was we saw there was a clip before of just a compilation of him calling the critical drinker low IQ. Irony.
Like, okay, well, there was other research, and this research came out and it proved that it wasn't true. Isn't it interesting to you that in all of these videos and all of this information, not a single actual point of counter research is provided? It's all just people saying that he's racist, or other books that other people disagreed with, or talking about something in a theoretical means, but there's never actually any data that's disproving this. I wonder why that is.
Because it doesn't exist.
We all know why that is.
Because it doesn't exist.
Extreme views, including open support for eugenics, but that his data practices have been widely criticized for flaws in its methodology.
Eugenics works. A good example of it is Yao Ming. So Yao Ming's 7'4", 7'5" or something.
Not really familiar with. I mean, I'm familiar with who Yao Ming was. Is he still alive? I don't even know. But not so much with the genetics aspect. When is IQ considered race? I don't think ever. Yeah, I would, unless there's some intellectual theory that I'm not familiar with. I don't think IQ is ever considered race. But yeah, I don't know the connection between Yao Ming and eugenics.
Example of it is Yao Ming. So Yao Ming's like 7'4", 7'5", or something like that. And he was actually a product of China having people doing selective breeding. I mean,
does anybody not know who Yao Ming is? I forgot. Some of you are younger.
This is obviously true. If you have two black people that have a kid, the kid's going to be black. If you have two white people that have a kid, the kid's going to be white. If you have two people that are very tall that have a kid, the probability is the kid's going to be very tall. This is the type of what I was saying before. It is this willing, deliberate, and desperate attempt to totally deny every observable facet of reality.
Goes all the way down. Don't believe your lying eyes. Well, so I would say we are blurring a line between our IQ and race right now. Okay, so tell me how.
And this reality denial.
So real quick, we'll just show our boy Yao Ming. Yao Ming. He was 2010-11 season around then, and let's get some. Where's that? Let's get some, so we can get an idea how tall this dude is. There. What is this? Is that Muggsy Bugs? I don't want an extra short guy. Just okay. So this is good. This is essentially what we're looking for. So, I mean, this is your average ref. 7'4", played on the Rockets back in the day. Yao. Yaoming. Sam said, I have no idea what my IQ score is. I've never taken a real IQ test. Taken a couple online tests, and I scored 125 to 130. They always do that. My ancestry isn't really full of people lauded for their high IQs. Yeah, I don't trust those online things. But I mean, even in in terms of getting a specific number as to my IQ is this, it's not really like it's a good comparative tool. But in terms of saying that I'm this number, like the difference between knowing that you're 125 or 130 is not really, it's not really something that you would notice, right? Like that's not going to change your life. You're already up there, but it's a comparative tool, and so kind of like percentiles. Sam said Scots, Irish, Spanish, and Amerindian. You don't hear too many stereotypes of these groups being extremely high IQ groups. There you go. But why not Andre the Giant? Was he too dumb? Too dumb for what? Too dumb for what? What are you talking about? We're talking about genetics, and we're talking about the fact that Yao Ming was the result of selective breeding. I was not aware of that, but yeah. So
really tall that have a kid. Actually, Yao Ming's like eugenics works.
So this is what too dumb to. I can't tell if you're being serious, man. I want to hear how what you're saying here. So what give us this.
A good example of it is Yao Ming. So Yao Ming's like 7'4", 7'5", or something like that. And he was actually a product of China having people doing selective breeding. I mean, this is obviously true. If you have two black people.
So yeah, what does that have to do with Andre the Giant?
People that have a kid, the kid's going to be black. If you have two white people that have a kid, the kid's going to be white. If you have two people that are very tall that have a kid, the probability is the kid's going to be very tall.
Yoga Ming.
This is the type of what I was saying before. It is this willing, deliberate, and desperate attempt to totally deny every observable facet of reality. And this reality denial, there is an entire pyramid and an entire temple of misinformation and distorted values that are coming out of this. These are people who are fundamentally, not only are they against science, but they're afraid of the consequences of science. That's really it. That has nothing to do with
See? Asmon is on point. But he's talking about eugenics, so they're trying to block this stream. They're trying to block you guys from being able to express yourselves. That is why you need to subscribe to the Indian Jesus live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever you feel like it here with Morty, the Overlord. And of course, every donation comes with a treat.
Like you, though, what do you think the probability is that the hereditary trait?
All right. Here we go. This is for Box. This is for Box. Come on up, bud. And Jake, if you're still out there, you obviously are always welcome. But Box, come on up. Come on up. I don't want to spend all night on it. I just want to hear your explanation as to. Let me start this so I don't forget. How we are blurring the lines between race and IQ. How is that happening?
Traits that are physically observable are the only elements of things that could have anything to do with genetic variability. What do you think the probability is that height and skin color are almost 100% genetically heritable and IQ isn't at all?
Probably very low.
Really? Think about this for 3 seconds.
Yao Ming is like a real-life Chinese version of Ivan Drago from Rocky. Only instead of boxing, they selectively bred him to be a giant basketball player. Yeah, I was not aware. I mean, I assumed that, he was some type of freak of nature or whatever, but I did not necessarily see that it was that specific. That what's the word? Purposeful.
Upon reviewing Lynn's work, Witchert states the following. The assertion that the average IQ of Africans is below 70 is not tenable, even under the most lenient of...
Oh my God, I remember this part. Oh man, I remember this part. And this is how you know. This is how you know that, like, okay, before we get into the weeds, let's just see a basis of who it is that's actually making these types of complaints. It's so dumb. Maybe hereditary, but it may skip generations. There it is. Well, yes, because we are talking about different groups. But African is not a race. Are you claiming that to make any type of statistically accurate generalization about any group of people is racism? What's implicit? Clearly not, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Inclusion criteria, because...
Oh, wait, I want to back this up.
Work.
So he brings this up. Bro, this is so gay. Come on, man. Make a fucking argument.
Reviewing Lynn's work...
I don't like it, so it's racist.
Witchert states the following. The assertion that the average IQ of Africans is below 70 is not tenable, even under the most lenient of inclusion criteria. Because Lynn missed a sizable portion of the relevant literature, their estimate of average IQ of Africans is clearly too low. Combined, the current systematic review and the results of our review of Raven's test suggests that the average IQ of African test takers is close to 80.
Well, I mean, I guess Asmon Gold needs to quit. In case you didn't hear it.
Too low. Combined, the current systematic review and the results of our review of Raven's test suggests that the average IQ of African test takers is close to 80.
Is this an argument against me?
No, bro. They have they're not 1,000% retarded. They're just 9,999. You can't make this shit up.
Like, wait a minute. Wait. So you're quoting people who are saying that it's not 67, it's 80? Like,
well, hold on. No. Dark King, what you would be able to say is that most gay Americans are, the largest group of gay Americans is white. That's different than saying all. Nobody's saying all of anything. We're making a generalization based on what else we were saying. I think they blocked you, brother. I think they blocked you. Try that one again. So that's where you can make the spelling mistakes. That's where you save those spelling mistakes for the icky words and then fact check the rest, or I mean, just spell check the rest.
So you're quoting people who are saying that it's not 67, it's 80. Like oh my God, do you?
No, I'm glad you said that, because I think this is a very similar type of argument that the guy in the video is making, and I think this is also where Box is coming from. Not seeing that we're saying because yeah, even if you want to say Chinese people in America drive poorly, that has a reason. That has a reason. Driving is very different in Asian countries, and so when you're used to that fucking shit show, I mean, like, let's just take a look at Chinese traffic. Chinese traffic. Just a random. No. Oh, sorry. Let's see. What do we got here? All right, let's see what this is. Half my no, maybe not half, but a significant portion of my heritage is Chinese. But that doesn't mean that I'm a bad driver. I just fucking ripped the roads for 40 minutes, 40 minutes there, 40 minutes back, and I'm alive. All right? We got about, 3 feet of snow? Maybe not 3 feet, but, fucking a minute. Good luck, everybody else. Looks chaotic, right? And so the idea that here, I'll just play it. The idea that you would be experiencing this on a regular basis, and there's bikes, there's motorcycles, there's Vespas, and muddling through it, exactly. And then you come here. It's not a wonder why there is a plurality, there is a representation of Asian drivers who don't do very good at following American driving laws. That's not racist. That's not racist. Chinese people are, let's see if we can, let's actually get the numbers. Oh God, what happened? Oh Jesus. All right. Let's see. What percentage what percentage of auto accidents are caused by people of Asian descent? What percent of auto accidents in the USA? Let's see. What do you guys think? Give me a number. Oh, don't give me the two fucking. Which response would you like? I don't know. Just give me the one with the fucking answer. All right. Give me numbers. Numbers in the chat. What percentage of auto accidents in the USA are caused by people of Asian descent? That was a good question. Let's get some good answers. And then, okay, yeah, then we can ask per capita. That's another good one. Come on, give me one guess. Somebody give me a guess. Of all the car accidents, what percentage are Asian? And this is coming from a half Chinese, the Indian Jesus. No, I need to see a number. Y'all bitching out. You're trying not to be racist. Okay, Sam's got 2%. Yeah, whatever. Welcome. Anyone else? Yeah. I've been in 3 accidents. Right? Yeah, I've been in 3 accidents, and I caused one of them, but I was on drugs. So don't do drugs or drink and drive. All right, Sam says 2%. We're going to go. Okay, Waco, it said 15. Let's see. There's no widely published, blah, 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 blah. Of course, they're going to say that. There's no Asian people count for 1% of traffic fatalities. Usually they're not like speeding around. They're, doing crazy shit. Box said 0.5. We got Marilyn. Welcome to God herself. Welcome. 8.764. Let's see. That's giving us that. The fatalities. Consistently found that Asian Americans have among the lowest traffic fatalities. Again, that's because they drive so fucking slow. Data shows Asians comprise a small fraction of... I don't care about the fatalities. I'm not concerned with the number of deaths. I'm specifically looking at any kind of accident. And what percentage are caused by Asian people? Oh, that's gonna trigger the racism thing.
Well, we're not gonna give you racist stuff.
Okay, what data is available? Again, back to fatalities. This is kind of, shout out to Pluribus. The non-answer is the answer. Police crash reports and databases do not reliably record responsibility or fault. You can't give me anything. So, do you have any kind of statistic that relates to Asian people getting in car accidents other than the number of fatalities? But I mean, again, hey, well, they ain't saying it because they know. Yeah, it's not giving us. All right, we'll see. Someone check Grok. See if, you guys, somebody ask Grok. See what they say. But the point is that whatever number that was going to be does not indicate that, oh, this person is Chinese. Therefore, they are more likely to get into an accident. That individual person. On a broad basis, yes. You, depending on the per capita stuff, then it might say you're more likely to have been in an accident. You're more likely, but that doesn't mean that you as the individual are beholden to the statistics that are over your group. Even if the group is properly represented, that doesn't mean that you fall into that group.
Not 67, it's 80. Oh my God, you're. Do you understand how massive of a difference that is versus 100?
That was the big the other shoe that dropped. It's not 67, it's 80. Still way below where we want it to be.
Holy shit. That's insane. Oh my God.
We believe that the accuracy...
It's not an F, it's a D-, guys. And this is their argument. There's a reason why they don't do research into this.
Kind of like why maybe they don't have much information on Asian car accidents.
Estimates of
national... Oh, wait, I'm sorry, he's arguing against you? Yes, you cannot join the army with an IQ below 80, by the way. They're borderline. Exactly. So I think that the benchmark...
Is that true? Can you join the U.S. military if you have an IQ lower than 80? What is that? What are we doing? What? Google, what are we doing? What in the fuck is this? Google's. I expected the fucking the basic AI to be stupid, but just give me a yes or no answer. In general, no. So we are literally bringing in people that we don't trust to be cannon fodder. That's not the issue, Box. That's not the issue. First of all, we definitely won't need them because unless we're literally only talking about throwing these people to the wolves. I don't want. Oh man. I mean, okay, fine. If you want that type of military, then I mean, okay, we just must disagree. That's not what I want brought into my country, and that's certainly not what I want fighting for my country. Just take on the homie with the extra chromie if we need Justin bad enough. But again, yeah, just to throw them to the wolves and be a frontline fucking infantryman, which okay doesn't have no use. But the point is, the military will fucking take anybody because of the fact that they're cannon fodder, and you still got to have an 80 IQ. God damn.
You cannot be part of the army if your IQ is, I think, below 82. And the reason why is because, and also keep in mind, average. Now, what does average mean? It means half of the people are below that.
Yep.
Stupid. Uh-oh. Fill a society with a bunch of people where the average IQ is 80, and you're going to have a PvP server.
Someone de-anime or video gamify that for me. What is a PvP server? I'm assuming it's bad, but what does that mean?
Sorry. It's pretty fucking obvious.
IQ of sub-Saharan African countries can be improved considerably.
What's the median? Oh, okay.
What Richards is saying here is that Lynn conducted...
Bucks, nobody is saying that stupid people can't die with a gun in their hands. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is we are saying that these people wouldn't even be allowed in the military, and the military will take anybody. So why are we letting them out into the streets with your fucking children? Player. There we go. Hey, shout out to Guam Tech in the building. Welcome. Very good to see you, sir. We also got TV Viewerski. How are you doing, guys? Welcome. This faceless channel guy is trying to say that Asmon Gold is racist because he's saying that we don't want to bring people with low IQ into our country. And I don't understand what the issue is, except what Bog said pretty clearly, that it feels icky. If you don't really understand what is being said, I can understand why it feels icky. But if you understand what's being said, it's just statement of fact.
Median? Oh, okay.
What Richards is saying here is that Lynn conducted bad science.
Hey, go to tell, like, and share. Thank you. Again, guys, that stuff is free and easy, and it helps out the channel so very, very much. It doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you share. Just by you telling the platform you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you. And guys, we are coming up on that 2-hour mark. Make sure we got Morty getting his food if you want to keep that party raging.
Oh, okay.
What Richards is saying here is that Lynn conducted bad science, and that the average estimated IQ of poverty-stricken African people is actually close to average, which is usually defined.
Okay, but how was that determined? By what mechanism? By what numbers did Lenny, where the fuck his name was? What numbers did the original guy use that were wrong? What framing did the original guy use that was wrong? This whole video has just been, nah.
Average, it's actually, wait, what?
In African people is actually close to average.
80 is not the average at all. What are you talking about? That's extremely low in America. That's incredibly low. It's low in Asia too. Wait, what?
Yep.
Which is usually defined as between 85 to 115.
So first of all, 85 is higher than 80. So at very best, you're saying, oh, we're bringing a bunch of these people in. We're bringing a bunch of these people in. Why? For what purpose? We have people like this of our own, as Box also said. That is an us problem. But if you're in this range and you're from, some random shithole country, why should I want you here? Let's say that there's an argument for why certain people should be let in and because or despite their IQ. Why should I want it? Why should I want it? And so 90% of the drunk driving arrests in my rural Texas county are illegal Mexicans. Not Chicanos whose family have been here for generations. It's the mojados. Yeah. IQ and intelligence, not the same and not really valid. Well, that's what I was saying before about like if you're 125 versus 127. It's not really the type of measurement that we're looking to do with IQ. It's more of a comparative thing. You want to put it this way. You all have an opinion of the accuracy or intelligence of my commentary, and we tested into the gifted range. What? I was with you. We all have an opinion on the accuracy of your and the intelligence of your commentary, right? And then how did we get to tested into gifted? I was in the. Do they call it? What do they call it for your elementary school? If you were, it was gifted and talented in mine. If you were up here, gifted and talented. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Just, come on! Yep, yeah. Hold on. Come on, motherfucker! Do the thing. Do the thing. The thing. There we go. Shout out. Oh my goodness. Shout out to our boy, TV Viewerski, with the $30. My goodness. And of course, a treat for Morty. Thank you. So very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Anyone else? It's frozen on my end. You're in? Let me know. But TV Viewerski, thank you so very, very much. Let's keep the party raging. Very much appreciated.
Wait, what?
Someone say good or it's good or it's no good or sound or something.
What?
Which is usually defined as between 85 to 115.
So if it's between 85 and 115, and he said it was low 80s and it was 80 to 82, then it wouldn't be part of the average. You just said the number wrong.
Stupid. Their environment and
see, that's what he was supposed to be doing to Asmon. The Birdman was supposed to be telling Asmon Gold, you got this wrong. But it's the other way around.
Come on, man. 82, then it wouldn't be part of the average. You just said the number wrong.
Their environment improves, so too with their average IQ scores due to the Flynn effect. And remember, we are talking about countries that have faced civil war, famine, disrupted schooling, disease.
Civil war, famine, disruptive schooling, disease. Okay, these seem all great reasons to bring these people into America. This is such a great list of reasons why these people should come to our country.
What is the argument against that? Why would we, again, even if we are to say, okay, there's a reason why we should bring those people in. Why should I want those people here? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh my goodness, Box. Again with the $5 make you holla. Thank you, sir. You had a long day too, huh? You had to sit around while I shoveled all that snow. This lazy motherfucker. Box with the big 5 said, if I take an IQ test today, then study for a week and take one 7 days from now, did I get smarter, dumber, or just get better at taking the test? I would say the last one. So that's what it's meant. It's meant to be a general intelligence quotient. So it's not about, do you know these facts? Like the SATs like that. I mean, it might not be too far off of an example, but no, obviously getting, like I said, it's not a matter of the difference between, let's say, keep it within normal range. Let's say if you get 103 and then you take it again and you get 107, that doesn't really mean anything. You could just take it 10 times and average the number that you got. And that would be your comparative tool to someone else. Again, it's a comparison thing. It's a comparison. Hey, shout out to Sam with the big 5. Thank you. Very, very, very much appreciated. and a treat for the overlord. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Yeah, just I mean, and that's why I'm trying to get an understanding of like, okay, which parts are the parts that he got wrong. But he didn't. He didn't. Thank you again, gentlemen.
Disease. Civil war, famine, disruptive schooling, disease. Okay, these seem all great reasons to bring these people into America. This is such a great list of reasons why these people should come to our country. Yeah, I mean, now, like, guys, I wasn't convinced. Now I'm totally convinced. Now they should be here for sure.
And extreme poverty, not to mention constant exploitation by Western countries that literally...
That's right. It's Western countries' fault why these countries...
America bad. America bad. I should have expected it to go to America bad. Those countries are shitholes, but it's America's fault, just like everything else.
These are shitholes. And that's the reason why, for example, whenever Britain invaded China and forced them to, buy tea and stuff like that... And
I do not. The best we've got for Morty is the not that one. The South Park shirt. So check that out at theindianjesus.com. Got a whole bunch of actually. Yeah, let's go to the look at all of that. theindianjesus.com. We got the Is It Though? We got the projection. And we've got, of course, our end dogma and a bunch of other cool stuff, too. Check it out.
Whenever Britain invaded China and forced them to, buy tea and stuff like that, and they colonized India, that's why there's no smart people and people successful in China and India. That's the exact reason. Because, see, like, every country that, Europeans colonized is now just totally fucking famine-stricken and terrible. Like China, for example. It's just...
Persist to this day. The phone, you're watching this...
Well, a little bit of a sarcasm there, if you didn't catch it. Always be closing, baby. There you go. Yeah, we need to do... we need to update that, because, I had somebody else set that up for me. And they don't come around that often. Totally cool. But I don't get any money for those. So I gotta figure out how to make that happen. But I care more that you guys are repping the brand, repping the community, and letting people know that you are a real one. Go and get your shirt. Go and get your shirt.
It's just
Persist to this day.
God.
The phone you're watching this video on contains cobalt, a chemical element that is abundant in the Congo. This element is mined using child labor in the Congo, and not only does this mining degrade the environment and pollute the local water system, it results in birth defects of the children born there.
Okay, and fair wake up on that. I'm not gonna act like American imperialism is irrelevant to how these countries are, but that's just the way of the world. It's not my fault that it's not your fault either. So why should we have to endure that? Why should we have to endure that? If we just because it's icky if we don't? That's the argument?
And pollute the local water system, it results in birth defects of the children born there.
So why would you want to bring a bunch of defective kids into America?
Now, if you talked about closing the mines and changing the laws, so you could do that, I could get behind that.
Why would you want to do that? It's stupid. Like, you're making my argument. Like, duh. Like, nobody wants to do that. That's ridiculous.
Shout out to, who was that? That was Liberty Plus TV, right? Shout out to Liberty Plus TV.
Of course.
High levels of cobalt and uranium in their blood. In 1996, the American Psychological Association's Task Force on Intelligence explicitly warned that environmental factors such as education, nutrition, and health significantly influence IQ test performance.
Why do they keep warning and not researching?
Was it you? Ah, there we go. We gotta give it dilly. So it's like, it doesn't fit. It's not gonna fit, but it looks good, baby.
Why is it that all of these people are talking about it, but there's never any data analysis?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I forgot we were even looking for that. I forgot we were even looking for any kind of numbers. I forgot. No numbers needed here. Just ickiness.
Don't you find that to be interesting?
Fascinating.
What are the odds of that?
With a lefty? 100%.
If you ignore those variables and jump straight to biology, well, you're not following the science.
They're all variables.
So this brings us back to Zach's tweet.
Right.
Yes, this claim is racist because it was made by a racist whose entire purpose was to denigrate an entire continent to uphold white supremacist narrative.
I love the dramatic music.
Guys, it's 80. It's not 67. It's not 68. It's actually all the way up there at 80. It's racist. It's racist. Guys, it's racist. Oh, no. Jesus Christ. Keep in mind the biggest mining operations in Africa are Chinese. They usually employ Russian mercenaries for protection. What's this Western bullshit? Of course the Chinese do that. I mean, duh.
We as Americans hate accountability because it looks like social progress, which scares us because it looks like change. And sometimes change can be bad, and we scared of bad. Bad must be doom. Well, bad generally is bad. That which is bad, typically, is bad. I disagree with the notion of Americans not liking change. I would say that's kind of the fundamental aspect of the entire culture, but to each their own.
Narratives like eugenics. The claim wasn't a fact because facts survive scrutiny. They don't.
That's right, guys.
And he knocked down all the facts. Oh wait, he did not.
The best case scenario is that it's 80. Imagine that.
Slaps the moment you ask who collected the data and whether other researchers could replicate those results.
Okay, all right. Maybe he was slow rolling it. Maybe now he's going to get to the new research and the what debunks the science that Asmon Gold put forward.
Well, why are other researchers not replicating these results on a regular basis? Why is this not happening? Why is it that, we're talking about researchers replicating results? Why is it that none of these researchers are doing this on a regular basis?
Why is it that we have no idea what percentage of car accidents are caused by Asians? I bet you we'd have a hard time finding women too.
Why is it that this outcome isn't able to be reproduced through science?
I would say a lot of that good change has been the identity of America since the beginning.
It's because they're afraid to do so. And they're afraid to do so because they know what the answer is.
That was going to come say hi to me.
A worldview requires Somalia or any other African country to be permanently capped at 68 IQ in order to make sense, then the
good question.
Science wasn't the point.
Yes.
The conclusion is.
Yes.
And that,
well, the conclusion is the point, actually. Like, if there's a country that has an IQ of 68 average, or let's say it's 80 on average, let's assume it's 85. Do I want to bring a bunch of median level average 85 IQ people into the country? No, it's because these people are like an entire almost standard deviation below the average. And I think that their functional value in society is going to be minimal. That's the reason why.
Is narrative pushing.
But you realize how, so this is, I'm glad you said this. Like I said, overall, male drivers were involved in 72% of fatal car accidents in the US in 2023. This tells us almost nothing. This tells us almost nothing. Because what does involved mean? Oh, it just means they were there? So that has nothing to do with whether they were driving, whether they weren't driving, whether they broke laws, whether they... So this is exactly the type of debunking that we've been getting from Birdman here. That, like, well, that's bad because of reasons. Okay, but what's the right number? Because you're saying I have a number, but that number is wrong according to the science. So then show me the science. Chasing Delta so 2004. Everyone chases Gamma now. There you go. There. I mean, dilly. Dilly fucking dilly.
Video? Jesus. It's the whole video. Man.
That's it?
Man. That's sad. Wow, mic drops? I know. So basically, this guy spent his entire video calling me racist. And then when he finally showed the data still showed the exact same thing that I was saying, but he said it was a different number. If you think that there's...
Well, okay. I mean, you can't say that. You can't say that. So what? When he brought up his numbers, it was a different number, but it was a different number in such a small margin that the point stands. Like, okay, it's not 67, it's 80. Okay, great. The point is, we don't want these fucking retards here.
No difference between somebody with a 100 IQ and a 100 and an 80 IQ. You probably have an 80 IQ. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why the military doesn't let people in with that level of an IQ. It's because they're functionally fucking useless and they're stupid. And the fact is that you don't want to bring...
Shout out. We got a Twitcher. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party.
Any of those people. This guy's a generational meltier. Read the tweet and scroll up. What is this? Oh my God. He's too personal instead of factual. Well, he's in like, what is here? No, these numbers show.
Oh, yep. Okay. I remember this. So just saying. Remember the type of person that we're talking about. So I can say there are more licensed female drivers in the U.S. than male drivers, but men nonetheless drive far more than women each year. So then it makes complete sense that there would be more males involved in accidents, right? Even if they didn't cause the accident. Hence, this barely tells us anything at all.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
this is why it's important to be able to parse through statistics and just look at numbers. You can't put links in chat, but you can put it in Discord. But again, if this is the conclusion, then that doesn't tell me anything about who is driving. That doesn't tell me anything about if you got T-boned. If some drunk chick T-boned, or let's say we're on the highway. Right? And some crazy drunk chick is just driving around. She bangs into this car, spills out, dead. Man dead. 2 kids, 2 little boys dead. So now we're 3-1. Now we're 3-1 on the first car. Then we go, boom, next car. And she's whipping it. With that car, off into it. There was 2 dudes going to a concert. So already we're at 5 men involved to the 1 woman. But that doesn't really tell us anything about who was driving, who was wrong, who was caused any of that. TV said I was involved. My gal hit a deer in my Jeep. I wasn't in the car. Wait, you weren't in the car, but you were involved?
What?
What do you mean you weren't involved? I'm confused.
Well, he's in like, what is here? No, these numbers show. Oh, here we go. Oh,
you tell me if any of what we are about to watch surprises you about this person.
Oh, no, wait. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my.
Oh, so you're saying that involved doesn't even need to mean that you were there. So your car being in the accident counts as you being involved. Is that what you're saying? Because then, again, we go back to, male drivers were involved in 72% of fatal car crashes. Okay, great. Were they even there? Maybe. So again, understanding how to read these numbers is important. Remember, if you guys remember, when we talked about that guy, KD Rustlin KD, whatever it was. And he was like, 90% of men win custody in a divorce. So all men should fight for their kids. Shout out to Edja. Welcome. And then he was on with the lead attorney, a 20-year veteran divorce attorney. And he was like, that is horrible, horrible, horrible advice. The reason, he said, put it one of the, put it one in the chat if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, the Rustlin KD, thing, because I think that's worth a little bit of a side quest.
And that's very counterintuitive. Guys, most divorce attorneys will tell men not to fight for their children.
I will use this video over and over and over and over and over and over and over again because of how well it demonstrates that people do not know how to understand statistics. And Think about how long you're thinking that you agree with the white dude here before the lead attorney tells you why he's wrong.
Why?
Because most men, if they fight for their children, will not get their children. This is very complex, guys. So let me tell you something about a divorce case. Divorce cases can be...
So yeah, remember, the context was like, hey, why are you telling men not to fight for their kids? I looked at the stats. 90% get custody if they fight.
Most divorce cases are fairly cheap, relatively speaking. I mean, it's not these Dr. Dre types of divorces, right?
Sure.
Most divorces you can get resolved for under 15 grand. You can. There's one type of case that you can never get resolved for 15 grand. It is the most expensive type of case that a regular person is going to have.
Take a guess.
And that type of case is a custody battle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you talk about custody battles, those things can get easily 35, 50, 75, 115. Now, imagine you're a man and you've got four credit cards, and you come to me and you say, Lee, listen, I make $60,000 a year, but I want to fight for my 2 kids. And you're going to tell me the facts of your case, and you got a little something. You got some arguments.
I'm going to drop this link in the chat because this is a great, great, great resource for exactly what we're talking about.
But it's going to be a real battle because the judges are biased against men.
Wait, are you just real? Whoa, really? Are you just saying this? Are you joking, or is this real? Are you being serious about this, Dick?
So we're going to have to put up a ton of evidence. What are we going to have to put up? Well, we got to do discovery. That's going to cost you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. We got to take her deposition. But then we also need to get the kids some counseling. And we need to get some experts on the case. We need to get the psychiatrist. We need to get the kids evaluated. We need all their reports. We need for these experts to show up to court. And so you can make $60,000 a year, and I can run up your bill to 80 grand, which you cannot afford. So I have to tell you, I have to say, listen,
all right,
you got a little something. But if I had to say whether you're going to win or lose, I don't think it's 50%. There are attorneys who will tell you, listen, pay me the $80,000,
pay me
all your credit cards, and I'm really going to try, and we're probably going to win. And what happens when you lose? They're going to look at you and say, well, we tried. We gave it the college try. Then they're going to take their 80 grand, the 80 grand you paid them, and they're going to fix their house through a couple of semesters of college. Good attorneys don't do that. Good attorneys do the opposite. Good attorneys say, listen, what's going to happen when I start charging this 80 grand, you get up to 30 grand, and you're going to come to me and tell me, you're going to say, Lee, I ain't got no money. What am I going to do?
Oh yeah, okay. So I wasn't sure if you were saying this happened to you, or yeah, but good point. I mean, like you saw it from the sidewalk. Does that mean you're involved or no? So good point. Good point. Sam said it's wrestling. I love that guy. Was not familiar with him, but this shows a side that maybe I'm not in love with. No shade. I don't really know him like that, but hey. Buck said I cannot afford an attorney for custody, and I make okay money. I just hope my kids forgive you. I mean, I obviously don't have kids or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, I as long as you are, trying to do what you can, then you got to hope that if the mom's not out there poisoning the well, then you got to do what you got to do. And so exactly what we're talking about. The ability, Bucks, 90% of cases brought custody cases brought by men are won. So you should roll the dice. You should roll the dice. Do not.
Grand, you get up to 30 grand, and you're gonna come to me and tell me, you're gonna say, Lee, I ain't got no money. What I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do, Ruslan? I'm gonna drop you as a fucking client. Because I don't work for free. So now I've got your 30 grand, but your trial isn't going to come for a year and a half. That means you got to get up another 30 grand. You got to get on another attorney's plan to pay for the case. So we attorneys tell you, listen, do not fight for custody if you cannot afford to do it. And a custody case is it's one of the most expensive cases that a man will ever have, and a normal man, not some NBA player or something like that. And so a lot of times it comes down to men, and men have tried. You never hear about the men who spend $75,000. And then they lose, because what happens when they lose the $75,000? Now I've got their $75,000, and now guess what? They have to turn around and pay child support.
Yeah. That laugh always. Oh man, that's how you know that's a tried and true, been in the fucking trenches attorney. He's talking about, oh, you just got fucked, and now you got to pay child support, and he's laughing.
And now guess what? They have to turn around and pay child support. You got to turn around and pay. With what?
Cold
money. Right? Because I've already cleaned out their life savings. So good attorneys, we say, listen, Instead of doing this whole $75,000 thing, what I can do is try to fight to get the most visitation that I can. And most fathers are like, okay, because I can't afford to enter into an unfair trial, lose, and then turn around and pay child support money with money that I just don't have. Now, what's interesting? The interesting thing you say is,
shout out to real Black Betty. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I mean, hey, you gotta be a certain type of a person. Exactly. You gotta be a certain type of person to be an attorney. And he says how he's grizzled, ground down. Yeah, ground down by the industry. But that's why it's so interesting and relevant to listen to. So if you're just joining, Russ and KD here is bringing the statistic that 90% of men that fight for custody win. So if you're a man getting divorced, then you should fight for your kids. And lead attorneys, hold on there. Oh, shout out to real Black Betty for the $2 make you holla, Mr. Puppy. Old man puppy. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much. Let's dive right back into it.
The more the man gets closer to court, the more the man has opportunities to win. Why is that? Do you know why that is? Because if I'm representing a husband, there are cases where I'm like, no, fuck this lady. We're going to get these kids. She's neglecting them. She's not taking care of them. She's doing this. She's touching them. She's not doing the things that she's supposed to do. We have a good case. We're like, oh, I don't know. No, let's go to court. The cases that go to court are the strongest cases.
Right.
You're thinking that the cases that go to court are equally strong as the cases that don't. And that's where you're missing.
Who wants to tell me the parallel here? So close, even with the 90%. What is the parallel that I'm going to play that back? And I'm going to make a parallel that we're all very familiar with. Let's see who gets it.
We have a good case. She's doing this. She's touching them. She's not doing the things that she's supposed to do. We have a good case. We're like, oh, I don't know. No, let's go to court. The cases that go to court are the strongest cases.
Right.
You're thinking that the cases that go to court are equally strong as the cases that don't. And that's where you're missing. The cases that actually get to the trial, those are the cases that the men have the best chances of winning. So you're looking at the cream of the crop and assuming that the cream of the crop is reflective of the base of the pyramid.
He just being cute. Oh, I know you're hungry. They've been very nice, so don't pester anybody. That's not fair, okay? I know.
Crop and assuming that the cream of the crop is reflective of the base of the pyramid. It's reflective of all the other cases. Now you wouldn't know that, right? Because you're just looking at the numbers. The numbers don't tell you which are the strongest cases and which are the weakest cases.
Right. Well, assuming that the strongest cases, the men are even acting towards wanting custody, 50-50 custody or full custody.
Again, can anybody think of the parallel that I am going to present to you? Something that we are all familiar with that follows exactly what the lead attorney just said. I'll give it one more second because I feel like one of you knows it. Listen to it one more time.
Right. First, the numbers don't tell you which are the strongest cases and which are the weakest cases.
The federal fucking government. The feds always win because the feds don't take the case unless they know they're gonna win. Same thing.
Right. Well, assuming that the strongest cases, the men are even acting towards wanting custody, 50-50 custody or full custody. That's assuming that in the bottom 90% or the bottom 99% that never see a judge, that there's men there that want it, but you're saying they're getting legal advice saying they don't want it. My buddies who went through this process didn't have attorneys. They just went through it and
I'm not sure about what. What'd you talk about, Willis?
Fought in the court system on their own behalf. Right. So we agreed that the vast majority of these cases never even make it before a judge. The ones that do make it before a judge, the man has the higher shot in winning.
Correct.
Right. And so you're saying, but you wouldn't give them that sort of advice. And I would say, well, why not? Why not give them that sort of advice? And do they always need an attorney in a situation like this? When, again, and this is me being honest with you, I'm saying I've seen it anecdotally play out where brothers didn't have attorneys. They went in, they got their kids. They went in, they had an argument. They said, hey, I am the primary care provider. This is how I take care of my kids. The kid.
Oh, duh. I was like, I'm not sure what, as I just fucking asked you a giant question.
You want to stay with me?
Stupid.
They got the kids. Right. And so I understand what you're saying. I understand that you're saying, hey, the odds are in our favor, this and this and this. But I'm saying empirically speaking, the numbers don't look like that. And then if we can escalate it to that point of, hey.
So now he's saying, well, the numbers are different than the experience you just gave me. Which is not not the worst thing ever. But instead of saying, well, the way that you would want to respond to that, because look at the attorney, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just explained this to you. Yeah, sorry. I say things and then I move on to the next thing. My bad. It would be one thing if Russell was like, okay, what you're saying to me makes a lot of sense, especially if you brought this up. What you're saying to me makes a lot of sense. So then why is it the case that the numbers don't really fit that? Instead, what he's doing is essentially being like, well, no, but the numbers don't agree with you. As if to say, the numbers agree with me. Like, okay, technically. But if we're talking about what advice to give men, go with the lead attorney over Russ and KD every
single fight for my kids. It doesn't sound like it's not in the man's favor. You're saying it's a financial thing. I'm saying, is that the only way to fight for your kids? Is you have to pay 100 bands and wipe out your life savings? I'm genuine.
I mean, I've never been married, no kids, but I do feel like that is the only way, unless it's the worst possible case, the worst woman ever, or I don't know. She died. I don't know. Hey, shout out to Bobs again with the $2. Thank you, sir. I do like James Sexton. I mean, I got a special place in my heart. I got a special place in my heart for the lead attorney. He definitely helped me coming up. And, I took his live streaming course that really did help me out. But James Sexton, that is one interesting dude. Interesting dude. Oh yeah. All right. Look at Box with the suggestions. It might be a Box week for the rest of the week. Now check out the Matt Walsh thing. Now check out trigonometry. We're finna find out. Thank you, sir. Let's dive back in.
Like, it's not in the man's favor. You're saying it's a financial thing. I'm saying, is that the only way to fight for your kids? Is you have to pay 100 bands and wipe out your life savings? I'm genuinely asking here.
Yeah, let me just tell you as an attorney.
Okay, he kind of brought that around. I'm genuinely asking. Didn't really sound that way, but I'm nitpicking at this point. Fair enough.
Wipe out your life savings? I'm genuinely asking here.
Yeah, let me just tell you as an attorney, my favorite case. My favorite type of case in divorce cases is when I represent the woman and the man represents himself. Oh my God.
You're gonna get crushed.
Your best case, your anecdote.
That's like me showing up to a Alex Preddy debate against Def Nut.
Total cases. That's my favorite case. And it's not only my favorite case, it's all attorneys' favorite case.
Because the woman has the means to pay for you as an attorney and the man doesn't have the means to pay for you or pay a
easy win.
I'm going unopposed. I'm going to crush you. I'm going to crush you. There's no way you can't deal with AV who's in law school. Like, a regular person can't go up against a law school student. And I've graduated law school, passed the bar, and been practicing for 20 years.
So we're talking about the 1.5% of cases where the woman has the means to hire someone like you, spend 70 bands, to escalate it, to get it before a judge, to keep the kids from the husband.
No.
Well, okay, but if the woman's escalating, the woman already has the court on her side. So it's a different equation altogether.
We're not talking about that. I'm talking about cases where the father opts to not hire an attorney.
Which is on the father.
Correct.
Right. No, I'm sorry. You're talking about cases where I thought we backed up. I thought we were talking about cases where the father opts out of fighting for the kids at all and just gets what he can get. It's like, that to me is an L. This is like, if you
that's an L, bro. That's an L, bro.
If you want to be in your kid's life, you have to actively pursue being in your kid's life.
This is so wrong. This is so wrong. I'm so glad you're saying this. This is so wrong. You have no idea how many men's lives have been destroyed financially trying to fight for something that you're not going to get.
Yeah, again, I'm just saying, all I could go off of is the data that I'm finding, and the data that I'm finding.
You're misinterpreting the data. That's what I'm telling you.
According to the data, men
misinterpreting. I misinterpreted the rules. It seems like such a basic, clear statement. 90% of the men who fight for their kids in custody win. That seems obvious until you properly interpret the data. I said it was funny. I said on TYT chat earlier today that I never get honeypotted. Aaron said that I never would. I love that for them. It is good advice, but it's doomer. I think you just don't like it. I don't. How is it doomer to say this is how it is, and there's nothing preventing anybody from trying to change it? Doomer is akin to like black-pilled in my eyes. But if you're just saying, oh, here's a clear problem, how is that doomer? Because then you can fix the problem. It's in court already escalated beyond their level of maturity. That's not true. I mean, depending on how, like, especially if there's kids, then that gets a lot stickier. Sam said, I'd never be a lawyer. I couldn't destroy a man fighting for rights to his kids. I would suck at defending a chick that wants it all unjustly. If she seemed vindictive, I would drop her as a client. I was just talking, my sister's baby shower was this weekend, and so my parents were up here, and I had lunch with my dad, and he was talking about, he's like, did I mess up by not, being the typical Asian parent and pushing you into, law or medicine or something? I was like, I mean, I'm glad you didn't, but like, I don't know, maybe. And I would have, if I was pushed into something like that, easily would have picked a lawyer. I for exactly the same sentiment. But if I had to do something, I'd be a good goddamn lawyer. All right, let's finish this up and get to the point.
You're misinterpreting the data. That's what I'm telling you.
According to the data, men have a better shot if they escalate it. So I don't know how.
I'm telling you why.
You're saying
it's the why. No, you're saying that you're reading the data, but you don't know the why. It's like, guys, you can read that 2 + 2.
Yes, exactly.
I'm telling you why.
You're saying
it's the why. No, you're saying that you're reading the data, but you don't know the why. It's like, guys, you can read that 2 + 2 = 4, but you might not understand it. You might need someone to explain it to you.
You can read that 72% of fatalities come from traffic fatalities come from men, or excuse me, 72% of traffic fatalities, men are involved. But if you don't know what that means, then hey, shout out to I didn't change it over there, right? Yeah, we were going with the Epstein thing, and then people, they weren't doing it, so we're all over the place, but we're having a good time. So come on, woo!
You might not understand it. You might need someone to explain it to you. You're saying 2 + 2 = 4, but you might not understand why. You're reading the statistics, Ruslan, but I'm telling you why. Why is it that the majority of men do?
I mean, I've been to court. I've never gone to trial.
Do not go to court for these kids. It's because they're not going to get them. It would be.
Or can I propose an alternative hypothesis?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Ninja, I just explained this to you.
Or is it that the men don't want their kids? Or is it the men aren't the primary care provider? Or is it the men don't have the emotional capacity to fight for their kids? Or is it because the men have moved on and maybe the man practiced hypergamy, found a younger, hotter wife, and
this is your Christian guy? This is the what?
They're ready to start a new family. Why are we not going to acknowledge that those scenarios happen? I see those happen a lot. I see a lot of single mothers around here that would love for the father to be in the picture, but the dad's checked out. The dad's moved on. Like, where's the responsibility on the men on this situation? I understand that the court system's not fair. You're way more astute to that. That's your line of work, your expertise. I'll defer to you. But I'm saying we can't say that all men always want their kids and always get a bad shot from the court system. It's hard for me.
Who said always? That is a straw man.
You wrap my brain around that. Personally, anecdotally speaking, knowing multiple single dads and also
multiple dads. I know multiple dads, says the guy talking to the 20-year divorce attorney.
From the data that I'm saying.
Yeah, you're misinterpreting the data, and I think we haven't really talked about this, but it's true. There are men who do not like their kids. There are men who don't want to spend time with their kids. There are men who don't want to pay for their kids. There are men who don't want to see their kids. I represent all these men.
Can you give me a percentage if you're talking generally speaking from your experience?
Let me finish for a second, because this is very important. Because you want to talk about all these men not doing stuff. But it's interesting that you don't talk about the other side. Maybe you don't know. Let me finish.
I just said that on the front end that my buddies took full custody of their kids.
And what did you say? You said that the women, they didn't use drugs or anything like that. So you're not talking about it.
That doesn't mean they were the most competent mothers either.
If you could let me finish, maybe you could hear. You're talking about these two gentlemen that won custody of their kids with no attorneys, and the mother weren't on drugs or anything. That's what you said. Let me tell you something.
If kids are icky, then I really don't know what the fuck you mean when you say icky.
About the other side, which you don't want to talk about, there are some shitty moms. Of course. And I know that because I've represented them.
Of course.
There are moms that have physically abused their kids. There are moms that abandon their kids. There are moms that neglect their kids. And so if you have shitty fathers, then guess what you also have? Since fathers are humans, guess what mothers are? Mothers are humans too. So you have shitty moms. So if you have shitty moms and you have shitty fathers, why is it that 90% of the women have primary custody when the moms are shitty too?
It's almost like the courts aren't fair to men. Buck said, oh man, you see a man playing with his kids. Next thing you know, the cops are at the park.
This is what you need to analyze when you're looking at your numbers.
That's America, Jack.
Guys, if you don't really practice in the space, you just look at the numbers, you have no idea what you're looking at. You're like, why is it if men and women can be equally good or equally bad, you would think that the numbers would be more 50-50, wouldn't you? Obviously, there are shitty moms, but why is it that 90% of the moms get primary custody?
So, in the same fucking way, we can say that, oh, IQ this and IQ that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But the facts are the facts. And if you understand why the numbers are what they are, then you don't have to cry about your fucking feelings. And so just to put a cap on it, just to show you who this person really is. Some of you guys know a little bit better than I do, but so first, Sam said, I represented myself at 18 on a minor in possession of alcohol charge. Got 2 hung juries. Eventually, I just took the plea because I was missing too much work and just wanted it over with. Yeah, I got arrested 3 times, all just for weed stuff, and just took the plea every time. One time, well, no. So the first time, it was when I was living at Rutgers, and it was Rutgers PD, not the New Brunswick PD. And so they just, I don't know, they dragged their feet or something. And I got that one dropped, dismissed, because, right to a speedy trial. Then the second 2, I was in New York. I was at MSG for a concert. And long story short, always, if you are going to bring illicit things to a concert, wait until you're in the spot where you're going to use it before you take it out of your hiding spot. Didn't do that. Got myself arrested. But then, shout out to New York. I just had to go see the judge, and they were like, don't do it again. It's like, all right, bye. I had to wait 30 hours in lockup because I was from out of state. But, and then the third, so that was that. Then what was the third time? Oh, the AC trip. That we'll save that story for a day. But yeah, I took a charge for a friend. I mean, I had other charges too, but yeah, just took the deal. Trial is I'm not trying to deal with all that. All right, so going back to the Birdman, who essentially is echoing what Bach said about just because low IQ people does not equal bad, evil, unproductive, or worth less, that we shouldn't be talking about this. And Asmon says, I just don't want low IQ people being brought into the country. And Birdman says, no, you're wrong, because you're bad, because that's racist.
Bro. Oh my God. This is another idiot parenting something he knows nothing about. Using per capita for crime arrests is fudging of gentlemen. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, give me a minute. I gotta look at it.